Loki loves you.
Haha.
Loki loves you. Loki loves all of you.
Funny.
What's going on, everybody?
Yo.
How y'all doing out there in the La La Land or Baba Land?
What's Baba Land?
Bollywood. I don't know.
Oh, is that what it
I was
is?
just trying something out.
Okay, I see.
Try and fail sometimes. It doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
But it's always worth a shot. You never know what's going to resonate with people.
Yeah.
You know, you might say the thing that strikes gold, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God, I got to say that too. I want that on a T-shirt." You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I can't seem to make this. I'm trying to make this bigger for people to see, so it's easier. Like that maybe, and then like this. That's better, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Let me see, like that maybe. Waiting for Syntell to get here, but I guess we can kind of start without him. Which is not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do.
Gaurav is like, I haven't watched one episode yet, but like seeing you guys. This show is gonna be so spoiled for you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got some comments, some juicy comments here that we're gonna take a look at. And so as soon as Syntell's ready, he's gonna be participating in the. Oh, here he is. Finery.
Finery.
Hello, Achara Kang.
I was gonna post this on Instagram.
Get rid of that background, bro. Homie.
What is this music?
He's playing some kind of. He's playing some kind of thing.
I was like, what is that?
Trying to get this demonetized is what he's trying
Yeah,
to do.
I know. Like Syntell coming in here.
Live right now?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
totally live. They can't see you. They can't see your 20-year-old face. Jesus. Look at you. Clean shaven and everything. But I want to add you, but you gotta get rid of that background.
All right, man. My bad, man. Give me a second.
High
man.
pressure.
Let me hold back these tears, man.
What tears?
Oh, did you watch Cinema Bondi just now?
I was watching Unpaused, man, and golly, boy.
Oh.
It's so much just love in the world.
All right. Calm down, buddy. So.
Hold on 1 second, man. I didn't realize we're going immediately live. Let me just close this door. I'm right back.
All right. Sounds good. What? Wrong display.
It's gonna add the story.
Oh. Why is it not on him? Oh, there it is. He's up there. Boom. Got some funky jazz music.
I know. What is up with the music?
I don't know. All right. I think I got you.
All right, yo, I'm locked and loaded now, man. My bad. Okay.
I got your face
look at that.
in frame.
Look at that voice.
Back in my right frame of mind again.
All right.
Okay.
How you feeling? How you feel?
I'm good,
How
man.
you do?
I'm out in these streets.
I'm gonna have to actually fix you again in a hot sec because I have to share this screen with you so you can see what I'm looking at.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
What's all that unprofessional nonsense in the background, Syntell?
I know, man. I'm over here making the proper adjustments so I can present myself in my full form.
What's up with Zoom? I'm just trying to like see the control panel. Hold on.
Yo, what's cracking, everybody? So good to
Why?
see y'all's beautiful faces.
Oh, there we go.
No one can see you though.
No one can see him yet. I'm trying to share this screen. So
Oh,
you
I'm
can-
only just the voice in the room. Hold on, let me add a little bit of
already.
information.
Finally, got a Loki question
go.
that I see here from Akshay Simha.
What's he saying?
What's your expectations for Loki season 2?
Mind blowing.
Yeah. Bigger.
In a word,
All bets are off again. Once again, all bets are off.
dude. I loved it. I loved the episode. I loved the season. I thought the fight scenes were crap, except for the final fight scene. But I thought that final fight scene was great. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny to me because I think the episode is actually really only 20 minutes long. My man, my man that's playing the one who remains, all of his scenes were like way over long. Like,
I loved it.
He really hammed it up.
I
thought
liked
they
him.
were good, but I'm just saying the show was only like 20 minutes long. And the rest The other 20 minutes is just him talking and smiling and being amazing on camera.
I enjoyed all of that, hamming it up, because it felt like, yeah.
It felt like if you were locked up for several millennia, dude, wouldn't you be a little hammy?
You're like, I got company. Yay. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, you guys are so awesome. You figured it all out and you made it here. How cool are you? Like, yeah, you're going to be a little bit.
He lost his damn mind, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Are we still answering the question? The question that was posed by the chat?
Yeah. What's your expectations?
I'm expecting the different variations of He Who Remains, Kang the Conqueror, if you will. They may not necessarily be Kang.
It's Kang.
But the different variations that we may see in season 2, I think are going to be super exciting because, as his last dying breath was like, I'll see you soon.
Right?
Like, oh, what does that really mean?
I got to shout out Cam K. Hey, Jaby and Achara, Syntell, how the heck is Ant-Man going to stop this guy? He can't. He can tickle him in the butt, though.
I mean, that'll stop you. That'll stop you right in your tracks.
There was, exactly. No pun intended. You said tracks. I thought you said cracks. I heard cracks. Right in your cracks.
Tracks.
And then we got another one from Nash Sandaki. Hope you enjoyed those audio clips in the opening credits. I hear the voice of Casillas saying time is the enemy of us all.
Yeah, I didn't know what all of those audio clips were. I was like, is this all from stuff that we've heard before, or
yes,
like is
I'm
it
fairly certain?
Is it super?
I heard Cap.
Yeah. I heard that, and no, I heard all of them. But I'm like, what does it mean? I'm looking forward to new Rockstars breakdown so they can tell me what I'm supposed to know.
My understanding is not all Avengers. Like I heard of some like real big public figures that were in some of the quotes too as well.
Zax. So, love you guys.
I don't know who those public figures are though.
Nope.
I am my own Twitch announcement.
Kavish Shoop says, I seriously thought they weren't going to introduce Kang in the series.
So here's the thing. When they showed Kang in the elevator, or He Who Remains in the elevator, I wasn't 100% sure it was him, because apparently everyone else was losing their damn mind. I'm like, I don't want to look stupid and call this out and be wrong and say, that's Kang. And everyone's like, no, you're stupid. You see, you don't know anything. You should be the foremost authority on knowing everything. But I didn't want to have that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept my mouth shut for a second. I'm like, let me just like kind of sneak over, look at my phone real quick. Oh, yeah, that's Kang. You know what I'm saying?
No, but the thing is...
But it may not be, though.
Exactly.
Also.
That's the thing. It's like...
It's the same actor.
Is it? I mean, it is the same actor, but... Okay, so Sylvie is a Loki, but is she Loki? No, she's a completely different person. Right?
It's the same
She's a variant.
No, but
She's
it's the
a
same.
variant.
He's the actor cast as.
I know, I get it, but he's not Kang in this iteration. He's He Who Remains. So.
Right. So it's not really. It's Kang, but not really. It's a variant of Kang.
Yeah. I liked that.
Okay, I think we're getting a little bit weird here. So, what I wanted to ask you, speaking of weird, before we jump into the comments, huh?
Oh, the kiss! Oh my God, that kiss!
That was weird.
You know, all I could think of when I saw that was Syntell and Cinderella.
I was gonna say, Cinderella's fine, but I'm like, I don't know, I can't touch that.
Yeah.
I was like, it was weird, but I was like, hey, you make out with yourself sometimes.
No, it was
sometimes you get a sock, and that's good enough. You know what I'm saying?
It was like watching.
You gotta love yourself sometimes.
It was like watching your brother and sister kiss or something. It's like, why?
Oh, was it? How?
I feel you, Achara. I feel that it was.
They're from different biological. They have different biology, different DNA. They don't look anything alike. They look nothing alike. Even their accents are different. She's from like North England, and he's from London.
I don't know.
Right.
Variants of the same thing, man.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Ducky.
It's kind of like there is a whole phenomena. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's
incest. What?
It is kind of incest, but it's a phenomenon where if someone has a brother or siblings, like if they're a brother or sister or something, and they didn't grow up together, sometimes if they meet each other when they're older, they will have intense romantic feelings towards each other.
Exactly.
And
Why do our babies keep coming out with 3 arms? What's up with that?
but it's kind of because you didn't grow up together, so like you don't know what to do with that love, because when you're an adult, you're all like, I understand romantic love.
Every baby we
So
put
let's
out has
do
a right
that.
leg that moves faster than the left.
I'm being serious.
You know,
but
sometimes babies just have 3 eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Every now and then, you know. Don't stare at it. It makes them uncomfortable.
Okay, here's what I wanted to ask you, because you and I are into like the same level of like space exploration and multiverse and all that stuff and science fiction and whatnot. What I want to ask you is there more than one TVF?
TVA.
TVA.
Yeah,
TVA.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and we saw that. We saw that at the very end.
Because people are
It's
debating in the
different.
comments, going, "No, there's
It's
just one TVA." Just things got reset when what's his name when He Who Remains got killed. I'm like, how does that even make any sense?
Yeah.
That would be like.
You saw all the timelines branching out.
Yeah.
So unless it's just like it's the same TVA, but he just came back at a time further in the past when they didn't know who he was. But it doesn't make sense to me because they've been trying to prune Lokis forever. So if it was the same TVA and they saw a Loki, they'd be like, shit, it's a Loki, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. You know? Like, wouldn't they just know?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the stream because it's going up and down. You guys might experience a little bit of a lag, just FYI. I'm going to go to the office and kill any internet that should have been killed already.
Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. There may be some turbulence.
Show.
Oh, you like totally...
Yo,
Yeah.
I think there are going to be multiple TVAs, but I think the storyline through season 2 is probably only going to be through 1, you know, because it probably can get a little confusing. if you just
Yeah.
add. You know, I mean, and we got the whole the multi-dimension of madness that's coming out with Doctor Strange, and then the Ant-Man things dealing with multi-dimensional stuff. So it's about to get really like brain weird.
Yeah. We're about to get like our
Yeah.
brains are about to turn into like scrambled eggs or something. Yep.
I apologize if you guys experience any lag at all. I have no control over this, but the internet is like fluctuating up and down right now. It's like going to 6,400, then it's going to 3,000, up to 9,000. So hopefully it levels out. I killed off the internet in the office. Now it's up to 11,000. Jesus Christ.
Kill it with fire.
So here, Tarunidar Chitrala says, I think there's just one TVA monitoring all the timelines. Oh, we're buffering now. Okay. As it is not time-bound, Evil Kang was able to change it fundamentally. The reason Loki remembers a different version because he came back from the void.
Hold on. I apologize if there is any buffering.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, the reason why there was one TVA to begin with is because there was only the one golden timeline.
Yeah,
So-
but then it branched out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they made a point to show the different universes stacked on top of each other, like right at the beginning of the episode. So feasibly, maybe it could, maybe not. What do I know? I'm a complete noob. Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't even think that was evil Kang. That might have been good Kang, because he told him, he was like, listen, my other siblings per se, or versions of myself, are far worse than me. So you probably want to kick it with me, but if not, you know, whatever, because I'm old and I'm tired of all this stuff. So, so I don't even know if that's even necessarily evil Kang, hence his personality being so likable.
I'm mentally back because the internet has leveled itself out. Like, it was going crazy. It went all the way up to 18,000 kilobytes upload speed. I'm like, what the fuck? And now it's at 9,000, 9,800. So, okay, we're good. I couldn't hear anything you guys were saying while I was freaking out about that. But I want to acknowledge Pranav Bot real quick. Pranav Bot. Hey, Jaby and Achara, are you guys going to do a live stream on Jaby Live after this live stream? Nope, I don't think so. But we'll see. Anyway, did you know right away it was Kang? Or did you know that it was the same actor who plays Kang right away?
Hell yeah, I know that dude. I told you, man, I'm a super fan of Lovecraft Country, and that dude was a beast in Lovecraft Country. So I was waiting to see his face. And when that elevator door opened up and I saw it, I was like, brother, yes, Kang, or version of Kang, or whatever. I knew. I was like, yep, that's him.
Dude, I love that little moment when he, I loved everything he did. Did it get a little hammy sometimes? Yes, absolutely. But I just chuck it up to, he's gone crazy. He gone mad. He's just mad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was appropriate.
But like he had his what's it called? The TPS. What do they call those things to move around?
Oh, the 10 pads?
The 10 pads. It's a strange name. It's not
10 pad.
10 pad. Yeah. He has his own version of that, and he like flicked like a little liquid out, and it looked kind of like the opening of Black Panther a little bit in terms of how they explained the history of Wakanda and whatnot. So he was explaining how he came from the 31st century and all that. Like, I thought that was just brilliant how they did that. Because, like, within seconds, it's like, even the stupidest person's going to be able to understand that. It's very, very simple the way they constructed that.
Yeah, it was a nice visual, yeah.
But it kind of broke my brain a little bit when he goes, oh, yeah. And, I mean, it makes sense given what's happened in the show so far of, like, Loki and Sylvie kissing, and, like, they're making contact and having fight scenes and whatnot. It just, like, it broke my brain just a smidge when he's like, oh, yeah, I met myself from other universes, and we shook hands. And I'm like, isn't there, like, this matter-antimatter thing that would happen when we both explode?
Yeah.
Like,
but that, I think that only, I don't think that only exists if that law of physics only exists within the same universe. If there's like a version of yourself within your own universe, you can occupy the same space at the same time. But if it's from a different universe, then the laws of physics are totally different.
Because you're different.
That's how it was explained to me.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
All right.
Ambuj Vashista says, Disney changed episode 6 after seeing the response from audience, ? And remember that Kate submitted episode 6 after the premiere of episode 2. I don't know.
Hold on.
Why would they?
Nevin Jacob. Eternals movie will be affected by Loki ending? Everything's going to be affected by the Loki ending.
Everything.
This is how you get the multiverse of madness.
Yes.
Or as I like to call it, an average Jaby relationship. Brian. Kang the Conqueror's original name is Nathaniel Richard, a.k.a. descendant of Reed Richards, and he is responsible for the mutant apocalypse rise to power.
Oh.
So Reed Richards was hopping the fence. He got him some chocolate loving because that brother show is black.
Yeah. So Sylvie is essentially pulled to Star-Lord, is what people were saying in the comments.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been saying that for like since yesterday, right? Like it's like your grudge. You can't see the big picture, baby. Yeah. Like Loki just said, listen, just give me. He literally said, give me a minute, just a minute. She's like, hell no, fuck that. He gotta pay.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, just let it breathe. There's a very real possibility he could be spitting some truth. Yeah. When Loki, the king of mischievous people, he says, listen, I'm a liar and I know liars, but I think he might be onto something. He's like, yo, I dropped my sword. How much more can I tell you? Just listen. She's like, nah, he gotta pay.
I know
she
was just too wound up in her revenge story that she just couldn't see the bigger picture, and she was just really emotional. So
Karens be crazy, yo.
Yo.
It's like the story of the ultimate Karen.
I know I'm not supposed to say this, but ladies in my life seem to have gone down that same path. I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to approach this with reason.
Oh, hell yeah.
and thoughts.
And
you're approaching this from being irrational and emotional. And
don't tell me I'm emotional.
What you call irrational, they call emotional. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just having a little bit of an emotional moment here.
Take a breath.
Like, damn it, you're going to kill us all.
Where's your empathy? Yeah. There's this great stand-up bit with Kevin Hart, one of his earlier stand-up bits, where she's like slapping him while he's driving because she's mad, and he's like, "You're gonna get us both killed. Just kill your side." Which doesn't make any sense, but it's hilarious. Aditya Vig. I feel he knew and wanted to get Kang out because he spoke about not giving people choices, and he gave Loki the choice to rule TVA/kill him. He knew. Here's what broke my head a little bit, because he had a script right up until a certain moment where he goes, this is all new, and I go, wait, why was that scripted up to that point? How would that have been scripted? How would he know all of that stuff up to the threshold, up to the point of what I call unity? It's like, how would he know that moment has happened? Like, has he gone through this before with other Lokis?
Well, I guess because he's manipulated the timelines so much that on some level, like, he's able to see
anticipate
exactly,
their behavior?
Yeah, like, anticipate what people are going to do. And then it gets to a certain point where it's like, oh, this is the free will part. Oh, this is fun. Like,
but how would he? Okay,
I haven't had control.
I'm sure I'm overthinking it. I'm sure.
I think, okay, so there's a moment when both Lokis, the variant Loki, female Loki, and regular Loki, when they came together, there was like this magical version of the timeline, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's something about them two coming together that totally destroys or not destroys, but totally alters the timeline in a major way.
Yeah.
And since the both of them got there at the end of time, he had a certain time limit before everything that he could predict was no longer going to be you can't count on that anymore because those two variants are so powerful that they are going to affect the timeline that even he can't predict, which is why they were powerful, which is why Kang was like, I need to control this.
Yeah.
You know, because without knowing everything, then he's just a regular dude, right? He's not as powerful as everybody else.
Abhishek Patel. Eternal said they didn't interfere till now. Makes sense now after watching the last episode. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna. He's supposed to be like the smartest person in the universe, then Kang, right? Smarter than what's his name from Fantastic Four?
Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Well, that's his like he's the descendant of that guy, so apparently.
You don't think he's smarter than Reed Richards?
No, I don't know if he's necessarily smarter than Reed Richards. It's just he has access to information. There's a difference. You know, he just knows everything that's going to happen in the universe. It doesn't mean he's necessarily smart. You know how like some people think that they're smart just because they read a lot of books in college, but they don't really have the application to apply that knowledge. That's real intelligence. It's like that.
I didn't read any books in college. That's how I know I'm smart.
Just because you can regurgitate information doesn't mean you're smart. It
Yes.
just means you have a good memory.
Shubika has a question. He says, why did Loki end up in a different timeline when he went through the time portal thingy? Kang wasn't dead till then. It was a different dimension. It was a variant of the TVA. That's my guess.
That's my guess.
Because some people were arguing that. Here, I'll go through the comments a little bit so you can see what people are saying. These are comments on the latter half of Loki because we did a two-parter. So I think probably the more relevant comments will be in the second part. This is basically like Thanos Snap, but even bigger. I would concur with that. This feels like way more complicated than the Thanos Snap. And so, but I mean, that's by design. Maybe he's lying. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's Maybelline.
I like that. Yeah, it's fun.
Loki was beyond any expectation, just perfect and peerless. I thought that it was a pretty fantastic show overall. I really, really, really enjoyed it. But the fight scenes were terrible up until the end.
You're not really watching Loki for that, though, right? Like, you watch The Winter Soldier for fight scenes.
Sure. I mean, but in general, I like Marvel's fight scenes. So I expect no less. And the way B-15 went down in the previous episode, I think it was episode 4. The way B-15 went down, I'm just like, that's how you went down? Like, it was kind of like a weird, awkward cut. I think the actor they chose, this is from Shivam Gupta, I think the actor they chose for Kang is so terrifyingly good. His performance really solidified his place as the next big bad of the MCU, and I'm all for it. I thought he was great, dude. Like, I'd never seen the guy before. And that's a lot, irrespective of his body of work from before. It's like, I would imagine that coming into the MCU with this long history it's got now, it's like, that's a lot of pressure, you know?
Yeah, but that's what he gets paid the big dollars for, you know? You get paid for that pressure. I'm just curious because I think we have yet to see how dope he's going to be when he plays the different variations. This Loki that we saw not this Loki, but this Kang that we saw, this variant, we're not going to see that again, I don't think. I don't think that nice, happy person, it's going to be what his evil counterparts are going to be. And then he's going to really flex. So that's what I'm excited for. Because I'm like, yo, you going to really bring it. Because this dude looks fun. He's all cherub light and funny and light. And you can't kill me.
Yeah.
Wait till his brothers show up. I keep saying brothers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it is basically, it's like your brothers, you know.
Brobama. This presumably leads directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and ties into the WandaVision finale. I think Loki would also show up in MOM. What's MOM?
Multiverse of
Multiverse of Madness. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is there a meaning?
Kang is definitely showing up. He's the big bad in Multiverse of Madness, right?
Or isn't he in Ant-Man? The new
Ant-Man. Excuse me. He's the big bad in Ant-Man. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Frozen 06. I'm wondering what new directive Kang gave to Renslayer.
Right?
Yeah.
That's one of the big questions.
We didn't talk about this in the discussion, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. I'm just like, where did she go? Who did she go see? What is she gonna do? I seriously thought that they were gonna tease that a little bit in the end credit scene, and so I was like, I was happy, but also bummed that the end credit thing was, we're having another season. I'm like, yay! But also, what happened to her?
Yeah.
Why?
She went to go talk to the clock lady.
Answer that question.
She went to go. She went
what
to
the
go.
hell's going on over here?
She went to go talk to the clock lady. That's what happened.
Oh, and Miss Minutes, my gosh, she's
she's evil.
So
I know
evil.
She's evil.
Ugh. She gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Why is she evil?
She just
Yeah, because she knows what's really going on. Something's off of her. And
she's a
and
program.
the way that like she came in, like as soon as they came into the castle, she shows up. She's like, hold on, wait a minute. Before you walk through this door, I got an offer for you. She's like, check this out.
Yeah.
All that stuff that you wanted, Loki, you wanted to beat Thanos. You wanted to be the king of Asgard. You wanted to just be the man. I'm going to give it to you. Yo, lady, all that heartache that you have, I'm going to give you the life you want.
Yeah.
But this is a one-time chance. And they're all like, we're not finna do all that. And she was like, all right, I warned you, and then dipped. I love that. I was like, yes. I'm only going to offer you this once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't no negotiation. It wasn't no, she's like, I'm out.
So what happens with Sylvie
Good
from
luck with
here?
that.
What happens with Sylvie from here? Because she's on the throne, right?
I don't think she would take it. She's just like, well, I've completed my mission.
And then what?
And now the world is ending or something. Like
She's
now
just,
everything's messed up.
She's created like all kinds of fractures and chaos. And so like, does she stay there as someone to like waiting for the other variants to show up? You know?
I think she does.
I'm just curious, you know?
I think she's going to be like a reluctant leader kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, she's not going to want to sit on the throne, but who else is going to run it? And then the Kang's going to beat that ass.
I saw a comment there that like made me giggle. I didn't catch the name because it flew by real quick, but they said all this happened because Hulk doesn't like stairs.
Wow.
What a callback.
Jesus.
Wow, yeah.
Anyway, Jacob Boyd here says they didn't send Loki to a different TVA. There's only one TVA and then only one timeline in the MCU prior to the show. Kang is a time traveler. He or one of his variants had already reset everyone at the TVA by the time Loki got back. Now there are multiple timelines with the branching off.
I mean, that's a possibility, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, well, we don't really know exactly where the TVA sits.
Yeah.
Ellen, Joe, Sebi, Alapa. I don't know why it's outside the realm of possibilities that there's more than one TVA.
Yeah.
Like they're going, well, the TVA is outside of the regular timeline. I'm like, and why can't there be more than one? Like, you think one agency can control that much shit? That's like if you think about just how many possibilities there are every waking second off of the butterfly effect. Every waking second, new universes are popping into existence just based on whether or not we end this stream right now or keep going. Like whether or not, I decide to reach for a coffee or Celsius. Whatever the case is,
Not
it's
sponsored.
like there's a crazy butterfly effect to everything. So it's like it's inconceivable that that Kang would just do one TVA. I feel like there's got to be a bunch of them.
Right.
And they just are unaware that each other exists.
Mm-hmm.
So
Who knows? I mean, we may be corrected when season 2 comes out. I can't wait. It seems it's too long. I have to wait for a whole year. Why? Why don't you just give me 12 episodes?
And we still don't know exactly when the next one's going to come out. I mean, they just said season 2. They didn't say when season 2 is coming out. It might not be until 2023. We don't know.
it might be never. I mean, look what's going on with Game of Thrones. I mean, we're going to get answers, I think, in subsequent films, though.
Yeah.
At least some kind of understanding of what's going on. The TVA is out here. See, people kept coming at me with this. The TVA is out of the multiverse, therefore out of any possible timeline. There's only one TVA that was changed by Kang's variants at the moment Sylvie killed him. That's why Mobius and B-15 can't remember him. How does that make sense?
That's very heavy for me right now.
And there's a new statue all of a sudden put into place, and is it because they did one of those boop like?
Diraj is like, it's outside of the timeline. That's why they exist for thousands of years. Come on, that's the basis of the concept. Okay, so it's outside of the timeline, but then how do you explain if there are multiple universes and you can have variants? Why can't you have a variant TVA?
At least one more. What's really cool, the thing about it is because of the statue of Kang, the Conqueror, the assumption is that in that universe, Kang is the dominating person at the top.
Right, unless it is like they say, he just went back and he just reset everything, and so now he is the, the Jesus.
What's really cool is that everything makes sense and doesn't at the same time.
Yeah.
Was this fingers crossed we get a petty criminal helicopter pilot Thanos in the future? Did you catch that Thanos helicopter?
Yeah, I saw that.
And finally, Multiverse was started at MCU. Let me Let's see. Jonathan Majors is an amazing actor. Just today, he got nominated for Emmys.
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft
Lovecraft.
Country.
Yeah.
What
I
is
keep
that show?
pushing it, man.
What is that show
Lovecraft
about?
Country. No. Lovecraft Country?
Yeah.
Were you ever? Okay.
I've read a little bit of Lovecraft.
Were you ever a fan of were you ever were you ever a fan of H.P. Lovecraft?
I read a little bit of him.
Cthulhu?
I read
Cthulhu.
a little bit of Cthulhu. Yeah, I did.
All right, so it's based very loosely off of a book called Lovecraft Country, where they explore H.P. Lovecraft's universe a little bit, and some of the creatures that are involved in it. This story takes place in the '60s, and there's this group of people who are trying to survive the horror of Lovecraft's creatures and also understand and manipulate magic in this world. It's the best way I can explain it without ruining anything.
That sounds
really
fun.
Cool.
Don't you ever read
Yeah,
Lovecraft?
it's really cool.
No, I never read Lovecraft.
It's just a bunch of short stories, right? He didn't write like actual full length novels.
Lovecraft? No, I think he did write some novels. He read a few based on Cthulhu.
Everything I've read from him was short form. So
I was under the impression that it was slightly erotic.
I don't know about erotic. Maybe.
books,
I mean,
the
I'm not a
books.
huge super fan
No.
of H.P. Lovecraft.
nothing I read. Well, nothing I read was erotic. It was all just monsters and stuff.
Well, he's considered like the father of modern horror. I think a lot of people consider him like the father of modern horror.
Oh,
Okay.
And
interesting.
he deals with like losing your mind. There's a lot of mind tricks that go along with like some of the horror with the end of days, with this creature called Cthulhu that's going to be the end of all things. And the guy that's playing Kang is like the lead actor in that,
Okay, gotcha.
in that series.
Rohan Chaudhary. So Iron Man is only dead in our universe. Wow, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
In another universe, someone else did the snap, which would have been better and make more sense.
Like who?
Like Captain Marvel, like anybody else. Like
Yeah,
it was an emotional payoff that Iron Man dies, but it really made no sense. Honestly, like anyone else could have done the snap and been fine. It didn't
Right.
have to be him.
Yeah, but it was
You know?
like sometimes you got to make those snap decisions. Pun absolutely intended. But you know, it was just he's in the right place at the right time.
It could have been anybody else, right? I mean, it literally could have been anyone else on the battlefield. It didn't have to be Iron Man. He got the jewels. He got the jewels. He got the glove. He could have been like, here, Marvel. Yeah,
Take it, Captain Marvel.
Here, Hulk. Use your other hand. You know, it's like those are all like nanomachines that could reform to anybody. He could have literally passed it off to
he could've.
anybody.
Yeah.
But emotionally, it worked. So it was fine. Like, I'm not thinking about all that. I'm full of tears when I'm watching Tony Stark die. I'm not thinking like, oh, should have been somebody else, you know?
Take that, Captain Marvel. We don't even want you anyway. Just kidding. No.
Get a better movie, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
She's got one more left, and then I think she's out.
Oh, she's out of the.
I think she's out after one more movie.
Will they recast her? Do you think? I heard that Kevin
What's her
Feige
name?
was like.
The black girl in WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision. Yeah.
What's her name? Oh my God, I forgot her name. Monica Rambeau, I think that's her name.
Yeah.
She does take the helm in the comics, so there's a very good possibility that she could be next up. So I don't know. And none of that has been confirmed.
I wouldn't mind. I liked her.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau was kind of.
I can't say that I enjoyed Captain Marvel at all.
Yeah, they could have done more.
So here's what's breaking my head a little bit. Isn't it in order for all the films to take place up to Endgame,
Yeah.
Right.
or not Endgame, but the one before Endgame, Infinity
War.
Doesn't Loki have to go back into his timeline where he was in handcuffs when he escaped?
Well, yeah, I mean, he has to die. He has to we see him die, so he has to complete that timeline. In some way, shape or form, he finishes that timeline and he dies. He sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
Or how that's gonna happen regarding the storytelling of season 2, we don't
Or
know.
he could have learned from classic Loki, the what does he do? The really good projection. Because that's what Jaby was saying.
I kept hoping that was what was going to come. Jolly Star Gaming asks, how come both the TVAs never cross paths? I mean,
maybe you've broken our logic.
No, not at all. The thing about it is, if okay, how do I do this? So, if you just look at the universe, right?
Yeah.
And like we can only see up to what we consider the known universe. And so I would imagine the TVA can see up to what they see as the known multiverse. Like this is how much they can see in their scope. So
Yeah.
each TVA is assigned a certain scope that they're able to work within. That's how I would look at it. But maybe that's too complicated. I don't know.
Maybe it is just easier. Like Syntell was saying, like for the purposes of season 2, it would just make way more sense to just work out of one TVA. Otherwise, you're getting really confused. But then they did manage to do that in Fringe.
I don't know. It's like it's entirely possible you have multiple TVAs and they never run into each other. Like
Yeah, well, no, but like I was saying in Fringe, I didn't watch the whole thing, but like I watched up to a certain part where like they found out, oh, there's the alternate universe, and there is also an alternate Fringe division in the alternate universe. It's just kind of
okay. Here's a question for you. When Andromeda and the Milky Way collide,
Yeah.
What Syntell? What happens to Earth?
Well, here's the thing. You would think that Earth would be completely annihilated, but because there's so much space in between, they kind of would just pass through.
Exactly.
So much space.
Exactly.
People don't realize so much space is in
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying it's entirely conceivable that you can have multiple TVA agencies and they just never cross paths. There's so much multiverse out there. Like, it's entirely possible they would never cross paths.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Ray Gaming asks,
Like,
are
okay,
you
here's
excited?
Here's a question.
Okay.
Here's a question. Like, if I gave a Chinese person, I don't know, a dollar, right, with a certain writing on it, and then I gave this is a weird, fucked up analogy, but just like go with me on it anyway.
Okay.
So if I gave a Chinese person $1 in China, and I gave on the other side of China, I gave another person $1 with some writing on it with the exact same thing. What's the likelihood that they would cross paths?
I don't know.
And know it. More importantly, and know it.
Probably very.
Do you see where I'm going with this? It's like the likelihood that the two TVA people would ever cross paths in the multiverse of multiverses, like it's so unlikely. I don't know if Marvel's gonna go there.
Right.
It's too complicated. It's like I'm confusing myself as I talk about it. Yeah.
I'm hoping that when the Eternals comes out, maybe we can get a little more scope too. But actually, that's not going to make sense because the Eternals are a little bit on a scale lower than the TVA. So never mind. Let me retract that entire statement.
Crinvich. New Rockstar is the answer. See, some people were like, you should wait to do these live streams until you watch New Rockstar. I was like, why? Just because just one dude has the authority on all of that information?
Well, yeah,
no.
then we can figure out
It's
how.
fun to speculate.
We could
Yeah.
speculate, Abhishek Ankar. Internals never interfered, but will now because of multiverse. Did we read this already?
Exist within universes. They're not above the TVA. That's why I had to retract my statement.
we read that
Rohan
already?
Chowdhury says, no, Snap never happened in... No, Snap never happened in other universe. What if Thanos variant is good there? True. But if I'm not wrong, guys, Iron Lad is from other universes Earth.
There is another Thanos out there that just, breeds puppies. It's just a very chill dude. Surely. Aditya Sharma. I think that as the multiverse has now opened up, we get a TVA from another dimension, which another Kang created, and is openly the face of it, unlike current timeline. That makes sense.
I mean, it's like there are two factions. There's the factions which are like, nope, there's one TVA and one TVA only, and then there's us who are like, maybe it could be another.
I think it's brave to navigate this kind of story because it can get really out of hand and really complicated, like very quickly.
Yeah, and I think the Kang variant said that it got to a point where each universe was fighting for its life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, and I'm sure the Kang not the Kang, I'm sure the chat will absolutely correct me on this. I want to say that there's a comic called Secret Wars where it is about the survival of the universes. Like they drop all of Earth's warriors onto one planet, and all the different warriors from all the different universes onto one planet.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Like it's pretty much that. It's Mortal Kombat, and then he who survives is the last standing universe. Chat, please correct me if I'm incorrect with that. I think that is what's going to be like the big super end for this version of the MCU. It's going to be that Avengers moment when On Your Left happens. It's going to be everybody's fighting for survival.
Is this the name of a Marvel film? Ant-Man and the Wasp? Quantumania?
It's the next one.
Yeah, Quantumanium, yeah. And Kang is the big bad in that.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I'm excited.
All bets are off.
I'm excited.
All bets are off. Yeah, but I do have a problem with that, though. I do have a problem.
Why?
Why?
With it going this way, because if everything is a variation and everything can be brought back by going back in time, then there's no stakes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but that's been the case since Avengers Endgame, dude. That's been the case.
That's what undermines it.
That's been the case since.
Yeah.
That's been the case since.
It's kind of.
That's been the case since Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Right, but once it's undermined, you can never really go back. Like, nobody takes death seriously. It's the problem that Rick and Morty's having right now, because nobody really takes it seriously, because you can always, there's a million trillion infinite versions of Rick and Morty running around. So when one dies or gets blown up, it doesn't have that same heartfelt moment as like when Morty realizes that he's a variant per se. You see what I'm saying? Like, the weight of it doesn't hold the same. And I think that could be a problem that Marvel is going to run into.
Well,
if you kill Spider-Man and you just bring him right back, then did it matter that he risked his life?
It starts feeling like a soap opera.
Yeah, there was weight. There was weight in The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody saw that, right? Did you see that movie?
Yeah, barely. I don't remember it though.
It was terrible. It was a terrible movie. It was bad. It was basically he was being cloned and didn't realize it. And you could tell. Yeah, that was all it was. If you had if you pulled down your eyelid, you had a little pimple there, that meant you were a clone.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like the big realization halfway through the film is he's a clone. It's like, oh my god, Arnold's a clone.
Hey, but you know what? I say all that to say it's not like I'm not gonna watch it just because I think the stakes are gonna be any lower. And Marvel's gonna make cake off of this, and they're gonna make cake off of me because I'm gonna go and see it. It doesn't change a damn thing. But there is gonna be part of me that's gonna not take it as seriously.
There was emotional stakes in The Purge, not The Purge. What am I thinking of? The Magic movie by Christopher Nolan, The Prestige.
Oh, The Prestige.
Yeah, but don't say what it is. There's people who haven't seen the movie yet, including Achara.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about. You know,
Yeah.
There was basically a Kang at the end of that movie. So a ditch of Vig. Sorry to debunk your theory. If that is the case, Infinity Stones would work, as TVA outside time and space multiverse would not apply here. I don't think that's true necessarily.
I don't know, man.
Infinity Stones only work within the universe that they were created in.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
None. There's no logic.
That's like a Marvel, duh.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that? Infinity Stones only work inside the universe that they were created in?
They got a lot of explaining to do, and I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they're just gonna let us figure it out. The fans are gonna figure it out, and Marvel's gonna go, "That looks good. I take that. I'll take that. Okay, cool. Here's what's happening."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there was theories that when Loki and Sylvie were on that planet that was dying, that it was all just inside of Loki's head.
Right.
Because Sylvie enchanted him.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. That never came to fruition. Marvel's like, nope.
They were really there.
Fanny Kumar. Achara likes this name, I'm sure. Fanny Kumar. Kang locked himself in timeline. What is that word?
Once
the branches open, they extend to next verse. So TVA cuts branch to protect Kang. He who remains is not conqueror.
Well, yeah, he's not.
I don't
know. No,
but
he's not Kang. Right. He's just
one of his variants is
variant of Kang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shiram. Imagine Thor meeting Loki Gator.
Oh my God.
I got my money on Loki Gator.
Dude, how dope would it be to see a fight between Thor and Kang? Does that ever happen in the comics?
Probably. Shoot, there's so much. No, comic lore is ridiculous, man. It probably has.
Can you explain to me? This is going to sound like a really dumbass question, but can you explain to me why Thanos is so strong? Why he's so powerful? Because it's just a given in the movies. Like he's just stronger than Hulk. He just is. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
isn't he? Yeah.
Even without the glove, Thanos will give you those hands. Like, I mean, we saw what he did with the Hulk, and he didn't even have all the stones. He gave Hulk business to the point the Hulk was like, "No, don't get it twisted." Like Thanos will give you that work.
Well, isn't he like part celestial or something? Or
yeah. Well, yeah, as a Titan.
Oh, so people are saying in the chat that he's half eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's super powered.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
But when you add the fact that he can do anything with the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones in it, then he's just the baddest thing in the universe. But as we see, there's multiple universes. So he's bad, but he's only bad in that universe. Right.
Jelly Star Gaming says, "Why did Frog Thor get pruned?" That's a great question.
Because he's a frog.
He didn't just get pruned; he ended up in a bottle next to his.
I know.
Next to
Mjolnir. Yeah.
Anabonergy. Funk you, Jaby.
Hi, Arnab.
We funky.
When Eternals trailer came, everyone was like, why are they coming out now? Why didn't they come when Thanos' snap happened? Now that all the timelines are blown and Kang gets loose, we know the answer why Eternals are coming out now. Also, since Kang mentioned 3 universes, there is he did? There's a high chance we get to see all the Spider-Man.
Well, we saw the 3 universes stacked on top of each other, and he said that I don't know if I can't remember if he said exactly that there were 3, but he said like, you know.
I have to watch that scene again.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
About the 3 universes that got opened up by Kang? Is that what you said?
I don't understand.
Or am I missing something?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know about that.
I don't remember what He Who Remains said regarding 3 universes, specifically like 3.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying that. I can't say for sure, but I saw definitely 3 universes stacked on top of each other. So maybe he did say 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think about He Who Remains' crib, though? Wasn't that a nice looking place to live?
I was like,
Yeah,
fire
what's up
your
with the
decorator,
cracks on the
dude.
wall?
Yeah. Like
it's
like,
all vintage, you know. It's just like just a little spackle here.
well, I guess like at a certain point,
You said a
you're
little
just like
spackle
you're just so over it, you know. It's like I live here alone. I don't need it to be nice. It could just fall apart. We could just make it nice.
He likes it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the name? What's the name of the little timepiece again? What's her name?
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minute with the southern accent.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to know what's up with her,
Yeah.
because she seems to be like the real mover and shaker, and she's definitely surviving now that the Kang variant is done. He Who Remains is done. Like, is she gonna be the big bad coming up? She's so sweet and nice.
No, but here's
Yeah, that's why I don't trust her.
The bigger, well, she was created. She's a program, but like the
Yeah.
bigger question
Is she?
Yeah,
Is she?
that's my. She's a cartoon
That's what I'm
character.
saying. I don't know,
All
man.
right, well,
like
anyway.
she hops off and off screens and runs around and
At
like,
the
I don't see
command.
no computers doing that.
No, but but it's all at the command of He Who Remains.
Is it?
I don't know, dude.
That's what I'm
you're
saying,
hitting
man.
me
Like,
with
we
you're hitting me
don't
with
know.
like a
We just-
Socratic
we just
question.
don't
I'm just
know.
like, look, I don't know. Like, I know as much as you do.
I don't either, man.
I'm just guessing.
I got these
But-
questions, man. I got these questions.
So I lost my train of thought now. Oh no, my question was why did they, because you've read more of the comics than I have, why did He Who Remains elect to have a 1950s vibe in the TVA? Like, why does it look like that era? Even Miss Minutes looks like she's from like somewhere between the 30s and the 60s, like that era. I mean, I know this is a big chunk of time, 3 decades, but like it feels like that, doesn't it? Like the I Love Lucy era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But-
why that? That's what I want to know. And because the only explanation like I could kind of come up with was like if you ever watch Star Trek, any show that's set in the future or any movie set in the future, for some odd reason they're always obsessed with the 50s. There's something about like the golden era of Hollywood. Like they're always obsessed with that. And so like why would Kang care about that though? He's from a whole millennium
But
away.
you're assuming that Kang built it. Maybe he
Right.
like
He did build the TVA.
delegated. Yeah, but
To
We
who?
don't know which version though.
to
We don't
your
know which version.
minions.
To
You don't need
Jaby?
to. You don't need to build everything. You have minions to do things for you. You think if I was like the ruler of all the timelines, I'd be outsourcing everything. Like I need time for my pedicure and manicure. Oh my god.
Someone like Kang would do it himself. He's like, only if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's why his
Oh,
place looks like
man.
crap.
Exactly. Let's see. Kang is an evil variant of He Who Remains. Basically, Kang is He Who Remains, but from another universe. He is Sylvie to Loki, which both are versions of themselves from another universe. So Kang is like that. He is not He Who Remains, but an evil version of him from another universe. Yeah.
So is he
Well,
evil?
He says he is He Who Remains. He said it. He's like, I am He Who Remains.
Well, he says they call me all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Joe. Jerk.
Joe.
I love
Jerk.
when he said jerk.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the jerk part. The jerk part was kind of funny. I had to have a chuckle on that.
You know, one of my favorite moments in the entire episode, though, was a very simple thing, which is when, and I already said it to you, in the middle of Loki and Sylvie fighting, she has the swords. Like she goes, "Go ahead, kill me then," and he just responded, "No." Like his no was so loaded. I'm like, that's the most loaded no I've ever heard in anything anywhere ever. Like, just ever. Like, have you ever heard a no that like had so much in it? You know, so many levels to it. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, because I love you. I want to protect you. I want to take. It's like it said all the things at once.
Right.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, because it could have been a whole thing, but it was just like no, and that was it. That was everything. I thought it was. Jesus. Am I alone here? Arno Banerjee.
He looks so broken in that moment too. Like,
That's what I'm
he
saying.
Yeah.
so felt betrayed. I felt so bad for him.
Yep.
It's like, why don't you see it the way I see it? Oh my God.
Arnab says, Achara, the minion leader, order me some pizza from Italy.
I know, but I'm not your minion, okay?
No, he's saying you would say that
Oh.
if you were the minion leader.
Oh yeah. Be like, get me what I need. I'd like some juice now, please. Thanks.
Abhishek Ankar. When Sylvie killed Kang, but used the same tempad of Kang's tech to throw Loki back in TVA, they are in the same universe as the tech of different Kangs would be different. Variants get different resources. What? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Okay, so
that's
because-
a deep dig.
I'm confused.
Because she used
Well-
He Who Remains is tempad, then yeah.
Because
I don't know.
that just broke my head a little bit. I don't want to think about it. By the way, just for knowledge,
How does she understand the technology that quickly too? Like you didn't read a manual. And I was real
it's
quick.
because Marvel says so.
I know. If I
Minutes
was
didn't give you like an update.
if I was Sylvie, I would have screwed that up. Like I can barely use my phone.
You didn't see the little instruction manual on this table?
Nope.
He Who Remains had a little instruction table.
I missed it.
Manual.
Yeah.
Vikas says, by the way, just for knowledge, you didn't know that in the comics there are actually 4 timekeepers, and one of them was Kang the Conqueror. That's why in the castle, one of the statues was destroyed because it was Kang's.
Interesting. I don't remember seeing that statue. But
No, I
I'm
remember
sure
seeing something like funky, like destroyed inside his castle.
Right.
Sorry, Princess is another castle. Did we read this one?
Yes, we did.
You did. Okay, cool.
It just kind of boggled our brains a little bit, that one.
Jaskaran Buller. What's your take on Marvel's new phase with WandaVision and Loki taking more mysterious story approach and less action scenes? I have a few friends who were big Marvel fans but haven't liked the new phase. I actually really enjoyed the Architect Matrix scene for the finale of Loki season 1. I thought that was cool. I thought that actually trumped the Architect scene, by a huge margin, because it did everything I wanted the Matrix to do. The comparison can't be helped.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
And so, I forgot what the question was.
I like that they're taking this mysterious approach, though. It's really cool to me.
The films are so action laden. Like, it's so heavy with action. It's cool to did you watch We didn't even talk about Black Widow.
Black Widow.
There was, it was a lot of action sequences in Black Widow.
Yeah.
And it's like it was more action. It was more action than character.
Yeah.
Whereas in the shows, it's the reverse, and I don't mind that in the slightest. I think it's great. I just wish the action that was there was stronger. It's like if you can have someone on the street level like Daredevil have a dope-ass fight scene, and then you bring me all the way up to the multiverse of madness, so to speak, with Loki, and it's like all those fight scenes are bullshit. The only good one was the finale. I don't know why that was the only one that was good, but between the staging, the choreography and whatnot, and then having to integrate the emotional moments of Loki just trying to keep this bitch alive.
Yeah, he's trying to keep us all alive, man.
Trying to keep stability.
Why won't you listen, damn it?
Come on, ho! Trying to keep order here.
Yo, I was so frustrated with Loki. I'm like, why won't this just listen? He just asked for a minute. Just 1 minute.
Stop trying to crash this car.
Yo, I was like, oh, man, I've been there.
We're not going to make it to the beach if you keep yanking on my wheel.
Don't mess with a woman when she's angry. Jeez, everyone knows this.
Anyway, if anything, the Loki show actually made me if it wasn't possible, I didn't know it was possible. It made me an even bigger fan of Marvel, because I just thought it was cool that they're exploring this very complicated idea of science fiction, which introduces it to a lot of young people who would have never even thought about this shit. Right. And so, it's a lot of science fiction stuff has informed people's desire to embrace the field of science and go become scientists. So that's what gets me excited. Tattoo Yum. Miss Minute and White Vision were somewhat scary. White Vision.
Yeah, White Vision.
Oh, yes. White. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
A Marvel teasing DS2 horror to come. By the way, love from Northeast India.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hello.
Yeah, White Vision was scary as well.
Tattoo Yum, do you look kind of like me? Big Northeast Indian. Onabonaji. So aggressive, Achara. Please don't kill me. I'm fragile. I'm fragile.
I'll kill you and you'll enjoy it.
Do English people say
Okay.
fragile or fragile?
Fragile.
Fragile must be French.
Yes.
Josh Manchester says, if only Odin could see Loki now trying to protect countless people, he would be so proud.
Oh.
Oh.
Odin.
Papa, he misses
It's
Mama.
like, yeah, all I ever wanted was love. Oh.
I really enjoyed He Who Remains getting so frustrated with Sylvie. It's like
everybody was frustrated with Sylvie.
she went from being a character that everyone loved to being the one that frustrated everybody the most, I think.
Yeah.
Really quickly in that scene. Poor Karens.
Yeah. Well, just like,
He's like, you're not the real Kang. Let me see the manager.
Yeah.
I don't like this version of Kang.
You won't stop filming me. Did you see that? Did you see that like blowout at the, was it Sephora? I think it's at Sephora.
Was that a Sephora?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. She's rolling on the ground.
White girl on the
damn
floor going, she must stop filming me, and like screaming her head off. I was like, God damn, lady. You're on camera.
Sylvie.
Compose yourself. Sylvie. Compose yourself.
It's hard for her to be redeemable now, man. After this, it's same with Star-Lord. It's like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I loved Star-Lord up until that point.
Dude.
And now it's hard for him to be redeemable, and Sylvie's in that same spot now. I'm like, I don't know about her no more.
He instantly became the character I hated more than anybody else in the entire MCU when he did that. I'm like, you know what hangs in the balance,
Yeah.
right?
Everything, literally.
Like, come on, dude.
You get emotional. That's why.
Oh my God. I think it's brilliant. He just said, "Yo, just 1 minute, just give
Ooh.
us a minute."
So anyway,
Oh man, how many people have said that? Can we just?
yeah.
Here's a fun one from Pawan Sai. It says all the rumors might be true. Spider-Men are the different variants of Peter Parker.
Oh yeah.
Hugh Jackman and a Ghost Rider cameo in Multiverse of Madness might also be true. It's rumored now. That would be fun.
Yeah. If I remember right, the guy that does the voice acting of the original Peter Parker has already signed Tobey Maguire. Yeah, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the guy that does the voice acting for the Latin American market, for Spanish-speaking market, I think.
Okay.
He's absolutely been cast. So it's
Oh,
like
somebody
he's
fucked up.
He's only done the voice acting for Tobey Maguire. So it's like, okay, well, that's definitely gonna happen.
That's the
Yeah.
nail in the coffin that we needed.
Yeah, we all know. Like, you just give us the damn trailer right now, Disney. I mean, it's not even Disney. It's
Dude,
Sony, isn't it?
I mean, the thing about it is that Disney, nothing gets out that Disney doesn't want out. I think that's my opinion. They got all the money in the world to keep the shit under wraps, right? So that was deliberately left out. That was deliberately like, oh, here's a little
They're
crumb.
like, here's a crumb. Let's see if the
Look.
fanboys will figure it out.
I watched DT. You know, I know how this shit works. Drop some Reese's Pieces on the floor. You lure them out. So what I'm saying is, like, that was a deliberate leak, in my estimation. Philip Mendoza says, I'm really hoping Kang isn't just a one-off villain for Ant-Man. Don't give him the same treatment they gave Ultron. Kang is a huge Avengers-level threat. Let him stay and working in the background across all the movies until... That is interesting, isn't it? Like, how these huge villains don't last that long.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating, you know?
Yeah. Who's the longest? Thanos. Thanos was the
Yeah.
only-
Two
the only
movies.
one.
Well, I mean, no, he's been in the
He's
background.
in the background, yeah.
But he's in the background. He's not really doing shit.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's like you said, you know, it's okay to just constantly have that like villain threat.
Is
the
it possible?
The big bad in the background, and
Is-
he just comes in every now and then, and you're like, oh, I think we got you, and it's like, no, you didn't. I'm coming back.
Do you think Infinity War and Endgame was perfect as a two-part film, or do you think they could have made a trilogy out of it?
Well, it was a trilogy, the Avengers trilogy.
No, Avengers was 4 films. There's Avengers.
Oh,
Avengers Age of
okay. I see
Ultron.
what you're saying. I'm sorry. Yeah. Man, I thought I chef's kiss. Obviously, there's not everything is perfect, but it's as perfect can get. I mean, what more can you ask for that?
Well, just stuff like when you think of stuff like Lord of the Rings, it's like you have it's a 3-film adventure of dealing with this villain, this like ultimate villain. I hope they do something like that with Kang, where it's just like very epic and big, you know?
That would be good.
I think they are. Between the Spider-Man movie dealing with multiple variants, between Ant-Man's Quantum Mania, between Doctor Strange's Multiverse, man, there's 3 big movies that are going to be dealing with this trouble that Kang and his variants are creating. I can't imagine them one-offing that and be like they killed him off in the first iteration and they're just dealing with the residual effects. No, I think he's going to be the ultimate big bad.
All right.
If I'm a betting man.
Shishik G. Get Jaby. What a coincidence. Jaby and Achara has 3 variants. One in Get Jaby, Jaby Koay, and Jaby Live. Multiverse of Madness. Hi, Syntell Vibe. And then I can't see. Can you see Tattoo Young's?
No, I cannot.
Tattoo Young. Let me see if I can bring this out.
Oh,
here he goes. Well, I would love to look handsome like you, Jaby.
No, Jaby
Well,
loves a
thanks.
compliment in the morning.
young man, you.
What a very specific phrase. Jaby loves a compliment in the morning.
Yeah, don't try and give him a compliment in the afternoon or after midnight. Then he turns into. Yeah.
Did He Who Remains know he was gonna die?
Yes.
It was definitely a possibility.
He embraced it.
Yeah.
He hear like, yo,
He's
just
like,
wait, it's about to jump
I'll
off
see
now,
you
dummy.
soon. Yeah.
He was tired.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
that was instantly clear to me that he was just tired.
Mistake.
He was just like, I'm done with this. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Someone else deal with this bullshit. I can't babysit no more. That's too much.
I'm tapping out.
I'm
good.
I just lost my place in this. Fuck. Y'all talk.
It would have been funnier if he looked at Loki and was like, she's your problem now and I'm out.
Good luck. Peace out. Peace out.
I lost it. Where is it? I'm really hoping Kang isn't one up. There we are. Oh, here it goes. Jin Gaming says, well, I think Kang variant knew how he was going to die. He said, you can put your sword into my chest, and that is what Sylvie did. I think he wanted her to kill him. Thus, he took his watch tempad and kept it in there in front of them. He knew chaos can't be stopped, just like Ragnarok in Asgard. By the way, hats off to MCU to keep the actor's word that Kang is not going to come in this series, but they instead showed one of his variants.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
clever.
that was clever. I was kind of like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you played us all. Good job, Disney and Marvel. Well done.
I guess. It's the same actor, though. It's just like
But
at the
it's
end
not Kang, though. It's like saying that Loki and Sylvie are the same, or Loki
no.
Gator is the same as Loki. They're not the same. They're different
You
people.
ever watch Star Trek Nemesis with
No.
Tom Hardy? Is that the guy from Mad Max? Tom.
He was in a Star Trek movie?
That's his name, right? Tom Hardy. Like,
Tom
I
Hardy?
haven't said his name out loud in a long time. That ever happened to you? You fuck up someone's name because you haven't said it out loud in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hardy he played young Captain Picard in Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh, fun.
And at the end of that movie, Data dies, but then they have a new Data show up. It's like, well, he didn't die.
Well, Data's an android.
We're all
maybe
androids when you get down to it. We're all just computers.
Maybe they backed him up. Do you know what I mean? Just put him in a new meat
No,
suit.
it was a different Data. It was a different Data. But I'm just saying, it's like, but the actor's still there. Like, okay, Big Hero 6. It's like, he died, but did he? He came right back at the end of the movie. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
La, la, la,
I got to
la,
go
la.
to the little boys' room.
Yeah,
I'll be
go
right
ahead,
back.
man. Sandeep Reddy says, I had lost interest in MCU after Endgame, and Loki brought me right back into it. Let's see what the chats are saying. Dear Sylvie, thank you for Toby and Andrew for Christmas. I'm confused why Moby didn't recognize Loki in the last.
Mobius.
Mobius. What did I say?
Moby.
Moby. Mobius.
Different.
We're all made of stars. That's a Mobius reference. Sorry.
A Moby.
A Moby reference. Yeah, that's a
You
song
said
of his.
Mobius.
Isn't that the end song in Born Identity? We're all made of stars.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay, doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. In the last, they even are in another timeline. He should know Loki's past in Earth, or Loki doesn't even exist in that timeline. It could be that Loki looks totally different in that timeline.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, Sylvie and Loki look nothing alike. If I compare Comic-Con release dates, Eternals was going to release before Loki. So I don't think their reason is multiverse. Was it really? Hold on.
Eternals.
Oh, no, was it? It was previously set to November 6, 2020. Oh. But then by that same logic, wasn't Loki supposed to come out sooner?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know these things, you guys. I hurt my head.
Original release date of Loki show. June 9th, 2021. I guess there was never rescheduled. I guess it was always supposed to be when it came out. So you're right. So,
Yeah, maybe.
So there really isn't. Oh God, that must fuck everything up for Marvel.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I just gotta figure it out. How do we make this connect? It
Because
doesn't
the same
matter.
thing happened with Black Widow.
Yeah.
We should talk about Black Widow when he gets back.
Yeah.
Manjari Chakravarti. I don't actually.
Ooh,
hear
what's that? You just
Please
passed
do.
by a good question. Okay, here I got it.
Please
From
do a video.
Suparno Dar, a theory. Ravonna went in search of free will, which according to her, only the one in charge should have. Maybe this is how she finds the Kang variant and they start working together. Ooh, I like that. Well,
Say it one more time for Syntell.
So, this is a theory from Suparno Dar. They said, Ravonna went in search of free will, which according to her, only the one in charge should have. Maybe this is how she finds the Kang variant and they start working together.
In the comics, you've read the comics more than I have. I know that you haven't read all of them, but is there anybody above Kang?
Yes. What are they called? There's like the elementals.
Okay, so once we get past this whole time King business, we get into the spiritual element or the. I don't understand what elements is.
I think there's higher than that. There's like 4 beings. Ah, man, there's like 4 beings that created everything.
Okay.
And it's them. I don't think you can get any higher than them. Celestials, not elementals. Celestials.
Okay, celestials. But are they like spiritual beings or?
Yeah, they're like gods. They're just like gods.
Okay.
I want to say like even there's another big bad by the name of Galactus, and I don't know if he's inner universal though. I think he's only. Yeah, I think it's only the Celestials. I think it's as high as you can get.
Galactus is stronger than Kang. It says Hades Days.
Hades Days.
Hades Days.
Well,
Yes.
within their own universes, yes. But if you're outside of the universe and you can manipulate what happens within those universes, it's kind of hard to beat that kind of person, right?
So what happens with the Marvel stories once you get to Galactus? Like after you finish Galactus, then what? What comes after that? Like, cause you've reached the apex of everything. Like, how do you like continue telling stories after that?
Well, then you start getting into when we start talking about like the Celestials again. Then you start going into like what moves them, and we've already met a Celestial too. Just so you know, like we've met in, Guardians of the Galaxy. You meet a Celestial.
Peter Quill's dad, right?
Yeah. That's what makes Peter Quill so dope, like low key.
But he went down like an expired potato.
He did, yeah.
It wasn't that hard to take him out. He died in one movie.
I know. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience, right?
Yeah, barely an inconvenience.
She was very sex
Yeah,
obsessed.
so I'm sure the chat will correct me, but I believe it's Celestials. I don't think you can get any higher than that.
Dummy test. Have you seen the new Shark God clip from Suicide Squad? They made him very adorable. I have not seen that.
Oh my god. I love that
Speaking
shark,
of which,
though.
we got our tickets for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, have you all seen the Harley Quinn animation that's on HBO Max?
No, we have not. I have not. Is it super good?
It's really good. It's really good. Really good.
Someone was saying that Tom Hiddleston is actually cast in Multiverse of Madness. I believe that's what I saw.
Well, I saw people saying that there were rumors that he was in it because he's in London right now. So it's like, what?
Isn't he English?
Exactly. I'm like, why?
There's
would he
rumors
be
that
able-
he's at home. He's only at home
He
for a
went
reason.
to visit his
One
family.
reason. To make movies.
Yeah, because right there, Akshay Simha says Tom Hiddleston said he's in London on Jimmy Fallon's show. Elizabeth Olsen was in London for Doctor Strange. So, maybe they're all there together. Because you can't just go to London for shits and giggles. No.
Jaby, I think the TVA where Loki was sent to was actually a result of Sylvie plunging her sword into Immortus, sort of good version of Kang. They don't really call him that in the show, though. So before that, there was only one timeline with one TVA. The timeline is actually the circle surrounding the Citadel. So after good guy Kang was killed, that circle starts to branch off. As a result of that, every timeline now has its own TVA, signifying that every version of Kang is now on a quest to establish their own dominance over the multiversal timeline and rule it, or rather conquer it. But that still doesn't explain why. It still doesn't explain why they didn't know who Loki was.
Because it's in a different timeline. It's in a different universe. That's what he's saying.
My brain just fell out of my head.
You're saying like you don't understand how they didn't know about Loki. Hold on, what was the question again?
Oh no, it wasn't a question. It was just an explanation saying that because the timeline that was happening with the TVA was actually the circle that was surrounding the Citadel where He Who Remains was. When he got killed, all the timelines started branching off, right? Therefore, all of the different realities, all of the different universes were branching off, and presumably each universe could have its own TVA, like each universe has its own its own Kang, and each Kang is on a mission to achieve dominance.
Okay.
But the TVA is responsible for multiverses.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that made sense to me.
Ultimate Potterhead says, why is everyone saying that Loki went to a different timeline version of the TVA? They explain the TVA exists above all time and pocket dimension, so there can only be one TVA. There can be two reasons Mobius and B-15 don't know Loki. Oh, this person went in. In.
Love it.
Don't know Loki, and there was a Kang statue. One, since He Who Remains died, and he was the one preventing any branches, so branches started growing throughout the sacred timeline, which also means before the creation of the TVA and some other version of Kang, possibly evil, created this TVA, and the older TVA never existed. What? And this version of Kang probably doesn't care about getting his hands dirty, so he didn't use the fake timekeepers.
Okay.
If we consider that the timeline before the threshold was made according to He Who Remains, and hence it cannot grow any branches even after his death, then it means the branches can only begin to grow after the threshold because free will became a thing after that. So some version of Kang, again possibly evil, went to our original TVA, wiped everyone's memories, and took control of the TVA, original one. And in both cases, since Loki and Sylvie were at the end of all time when all of this was happening, so they retained their memories because they were unaffected by all the chaos.
Okay, yeah. Also, a pretty good speculation.
That hurt my
explanation. Yeah. It was a little bit head hurty.
The fact that they weren't affected because they were outside of the time boundary does make a lot of sense. I do like that part.
Yeah.
That part of the theory I do like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you regretting doing this live stream now?
No, not
You're
at
just
all.
like, oh my head.
It's just really heady. It's just like it's the way I felt when I watched Terminator for the first time. I'm like, wait, so Kyle Reese is John Connor's dad.
Yes.
But he went back in time.
Yes.
To protect John Connor.
Yes, and to make John Connor.
And then made John Connor. And
yes.
John Connor is the one who sent him back in time.
Yes.
Like it just breaks your head when you first hear these ideas.
Because you gotta. You
know
gotta. Otherwise, you'll never exist. You gotta do the things, right?
The way you said you gotta, I just suddenly got reminded of the Will Smith song.
Which one?
So can I talk something briefly about the brilliance of how Marvel has responded to the fractured timeline and using it to not only bring in two properties that were outside of the MCU into the MCU, but also market an additional movie at the same time. And that is Deadpool and Thrax. I think that's his name. Was it Thrax?
Korg.
Korg. Yeah, Korg. Doing a video watch along for
Free Guy.
The new movie that stars Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
It was the most meta thing I think I've ever seen in marketing, ever. I don't think nothing can compare to that. So they broke the timeline in Loki, and then Disney was like, well, since the timeline's broken and we haven't figured out a way to add Deadpool to the MCU, then they do a commercial with Deadpool talking to somebody that's already MCU. And they're having a conversation about Ryan Reynolds, who is the character of Deadpool, who admits that he is a character within the movie itself, who also is talking to the director of the movie, who's also played by Kang. That's a lot.
Also,
that is brilliance beyond. That's a whole different level of brilliance.
But both of them are in the movie because Korg is played by Taika Waititi, who is also playing the bad guy in the movie that they're advertising. So
right, it's just even more meta, right? It's just, I've never seen. I don't even know movies that have gone that far into the metaverse. I don't know who created that, but that is brilliance beyond brilliance, and the simple fact that they did it like just as the timeline was breaking in one of the universe to justify it is just even more brilliant. That's
Manjari Chakravarti, calm down, dude. Can you read his question right here? You interrupted me in like a couple.
Oh, sorry. He says, please do a video on visiting 20 Core Pandal in Kolkata. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
The conversation forward.
I'll take a picture of it.
Can we talk about Black Widow for a hot sec? Because I never heard your feelings about it.
I was entertained. It's definitely okay. So Black Widow came out like a year too late for the most part, and they had to wait because of COVID.
Yeah.
So everybody had like these expectations. It's been sitting on the shelf for like a good year, and so when we finally got it, we just kind of like crammed it into our mouths. The first review that came out, a lot of people hated it. I think they hated it because it does have an agenda. It does have an agenda regarding, the power structure and ladies stick together and bring down the evil dude. But I mean, that's just to be expected in this climate. If you can get past that and allow yourself to enjoy the action, it's a fun movie. It was good. Yeah. I think the biggest gripe outside of that is the Taskmaster thing, which is interesting because Taskmaster
Hold on. Back up. What did you say about this climate? I missed that part because I was fighting another comment.
Oh, well, the climate, the social climate that we're in right now, it's, voices are being heard regarding, the feminist movement, and why shouldn't Black Widow be a representative of that movement? I mean, she's a Black superhero, so it makes sense to me. But
she's a female superhero. I think.
Way better.
Yeah.
What's up?
You meant female superhero.
You meant female superhero, right?
Yeah, female superhero. So, it makes sense to me. I mean, why wouldn't that happen? So, but if you can get past it and enjoy the action, it's kind of interesting.
And then you're talking about
my problem is with Taskmaster.
Right.
Because if you're going to take that agenda and be like, hey, girl power all the way, then why do you have a male stuntman playing in that role? That was the part that kind of threw me a little bit. I was even cool with Taskmaster being a lady as well, but because I'm looking at us, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, that's a dude. The whole time, you know how a dude walk, you know how a dude carry himself. So if you're gonna do it and go that way, go all the way with it. And so when everybody's like, yeah, Taskmaster is this lady, I'm like, not really. Taskmaster, for the majority of the time that you see Taskmaster on the screen, like 80% of that time is played by a man.
So
the few times that you see Taskmaster's face when she takes the helmet off, which is like 10% of the movie, 15% of the movie.
Yeah.
Then you see the lady's face, but the actor for the majority of the time that you see Taskmaster, that's a guy.
So, do you know a lot about the character of Taskmaster?
Other than the fact that his superpower is that he can recreate any physical combat skill that you have. He just memorizes it instantly and can recreate it. And I thought that was great because you saw Black Panther's fighting style, I saw Captain America's fighting style, and they were like obvious. It's like, oh, they're doing a really good job of switching styles.
Yeah.
But even with me standing on this throne of like, yo, it was a dude in the suit, it still didn't deter from my entertainment. It was I really had a good time with it. It was fun.
This is the guy who doubled Taskmaster.
Yeah, I mean, that's Taskmaster. I mean, he was 80% of the film. I mean, 80% of the time that you see Taskmaster, that guy is Taskmaster. So that's all. It's just people are like really upset. It's a small thing, but it's not enough to make you not watch the film. It's just an irritant for me. It's just irritating.
Well, so So you were irritated by the fact that it wasn't a stunt woman.
Yeah, because if you're gonna take that stand and have this movie be that, against the matriarchy in a sense, excuse me, the patriarchy in a sense, then be legit and find a female stunt woman.
Yeah, I mean there are plenty of female stunt people.
There's plenty. It's not has nothing to do with being incapable.
And it's just
an irritant. It's not enough to say don't watch the movie.
And they are super talented. Like I know several stunt women who are crazy talented who probably could have done it, but I think they were looking for a certain what do you call it, physique
build,
like a certain stature. And like generally speaking, when I've encountered women who are that tall, they don't move. I've never met a stunt lady that tall that's that agile, is the easiest way to put it. Not saying it's not possible or doesn't exist, but I haven't. Every stunt woman I've met who's super talented, generally around 5'8", but somewhere between 5 foot and 5'9", generally speaking. Sometimes taller, sometimes smaller, but like not that big,
Yeah.
Taskmaster's huge.
It ruined the reveal for me, because when you see the reveal and you see that it's a lady, and I'm like, bullshit, there's no way she was doing that, and then it comes out like 2 days after the fact, and you're like, oh no, it really was a dude. That's the stunt double. Because that's what I'm saying. It's an irritant. It's not nothing that's gonna make you not stop watching the movie. But when you see the reveal, I can't be the only one, Jaby. You were like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm looking at it like, there's no way that person did that. It just seemed highly unrealistic.
I mean, I just feel that way in general about when you see an actor reveal. It's like I can't help but think that a lot of the time anyway. Like when I'm watching Iron Man, I know that's a CGI character most of the time and not Robert Downey Jr., who's mostly doing a voiceover. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm experiencing that thought no matter what. So it being a lady versus a stunt dude, like that didn't cross my mind.
Well, my thing is like, why don't make that a thing? Just have a lady be Taskmaster, and then just have, you could tell how a lady walks, and I would have been cool. Wouldn't have missed a beat, and then it would have made everything far more believable. So now when I go back and I think about all those fight scenes, and I'm like what was fighting a dude? She wasn't fighting Taskmaster.
Damn.
Like I said, it's an irritant. It's not enough to make me say the movie was bad. It's not enough to say don't watch it. It's just irritating.
Yeah.
It's just an irritant.
Right. No, I hear you. I know some people who got irritated with the feminist agenda in the film. I personally, that washed over me. It's I saw it happening and I'm like I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you, because I was just like, whatever. It's just so I'm like, I've reached the point where virtue signaling doesn't even hit my radar anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like I think I tapped out with Aladdin. Did you watch Aladdin, the new Aladdin?
Yeah, I watched Aladdin. Yeah, culturally it seemed like it might not have happened that way, but I don't know.
Like, because there's that virtue signaling scene where Jasmine's like, I won't be silenced, and then she's like silenced like the next scene. But like,
well, and it was all happening in her head anyway.
Right. But my point is, it's like, why did that need to be in the fucking movie? Like, that didn't need to be there. And so, like, that's when I blew my wad on getting outraged by virtue signaling. After that, I'm like, you know what? You can do all the virtue signaling you want. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. That's how little it means to me. And so when they were doing that here in Black Widow, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I don't even see it. I don't see color.
Right.
I would expect that though, but from a Black Widow film. I mean, before I even knew what the whole quote is, I kind of figured it would be kind of like that because of the climate. I mean, that's just that's the social climate that we're in. So I was like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, who is better to tackle that?
How dope was Ray Winston's Russian accent, though? Am I right?
My friend who's a film critic made a tweet where he said, "Oh, interesting how the only real Russian actor they had in the Black Widow movie had no lines. How about that?"
Pawan say, check out Film Theory's video, Thor Ends the MCU. Nandu Krishnan. Jaby, have you watched New Rockstar's reaction to Deadpool and Korg react to a Free Guy trailer? If not, could you do it now? I'm not going to do it now because of copyright claim issues, just in case. Because we experienced copyright claim issues with the trailer reaction we did. So I'm not going to take a chance. But I appreciate the suggestion. Dummy tests. In Endgame, also in the last fight, Marvel had unnecessary female teaming up to support. That's when I got mad too. I think that's what it was.
Oh, the girl power team?
Yeah, in Infinity
I loved that
War,
moment, though. I'm not going to lie. I loved it.
Whatever. In Infinity War, this is why this is the thing I appreciate about Indian films that American films fail to do, is that when it happens in Indian films, they're not calling attention to it. It's just there. It's not like the point. It's like this has just been ongoing where you have female power. No one's saying shit about it because it's just accepted. Whereas here, we make this big rah-rah about every time there's like a female-led something or another, and I'm like, yo, like, how long are we going to keep doing this? It's not like we haven't been. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Well, I mean, you got to stick a flag, and be like, this is the stand that we're going to take and make this moment. I mean, it was a cool moment. I didn't dislike it.
I hated it. I was
it's
so mad.
It's just like, okay, well, here we go. We're about to have this moment.
Dude.
You just kind of prepare for it, and, you just kind of keep it moving.
I went blind for a second from rolling my fucking eyes. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Meanwhile, me and Courtney next to you were just like, woo!
Y'all, because y'all are just
they made it cool. That was my whole thing. I'm like,
yeah,
cool.
It looked cool. It looked like a
Make
Beyonce
it cool.
video or something. I'm like, yeah, look at the wind machine. Get there, ladies.
It did nothing for me.
Me and my
It's like
bad self.
that was the 3 punch to knock me out of this like giving a shit about this virtue signaling business, because it was like Aladdin with the Jasmine song, and then Infinity War did it, and then Endgame did it. I'm like, how many times are you gonna do this? Y'all, this is a huge ass battlefield. Y'all just next to each other.
Listen,
by coincidence?
We just happened to be there, okay? And then there was like some amazing gusts of wind. We all have great hair and makeup while we're battling, and we look fierce, so we're gonna rock it, okay? Ladies!
It doesn't matter what film you watch. There's gonna be some agenda somewhere. Somewhere there's an agenda.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
It's just what it is. This is what the agendas of the moment are going to be, and probably for a few more years until I don't know, Mexican lives matter or something. I don't know. It's just. I mean, because it's
that's
like
not
that,
the next
it's like
fight.
that with black films too.
No, that's not the next fight, dude. You know what the next fight is.
What?
We both know that we both know what the next fight is.
Android lives matter.
No, the next fight
What?
is okay. It's trans racism or trans race. What do you call it?
Transphobia?
No. Being trans, like right now we're doing transgendered stuff, right? That's like the big fight.
Right.
That's the big rah-rah fight.
Love
The next one is trans race.
Oh yeah, like
people are
Rachel
gonna.
Dozanoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
The white lady that
She's
says
gonna be the
black.
Rosa Parks in the future, dude. Because do you know what I'm saying? Like she tried to be who she believed she was deep down inside, a black woman,
Yeah.
a struggling black woman.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Deep down in her heart, she's a struggling woman. There's a YouTuber too. I can't think of his name, and he became
like
Korean.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, he became Korean. So he just decided and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be Korean now." So I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome that white people could just decide that."
I feel like if you
let me assure you, it does not go the other way around.
I feel like if you decide that you want to be like Korean or Asian or something, then you also need to inherit the Asian parents, and you have to go through that for a lifetime.
Hold on.
Enjoy.
But the thing about it is, we have been doing it. We have been trying to do it the other way. If you go back and watch the movie Sayonara with Marlon Brando, there's a scene in the film where this woman's trying to get surgery to get her eyes to look more like Caucasian.
Round. Yeah, no, that's a popular surgery.
Been
in
ongoing because
Asia.
of this like white what do you call it?
Supremacy?
Inferiority complex. The white inferiority complex, and we want to look more white because that is who we consider superior with the more rounded eyes and whatnot. And so that surgery has been ongoing, Billy, A.K. I didn't read your thing, right?
No, you did
Galactus is considered as the strongest villain in the MCU. Kang is a great strategist. His knowledge of time gave access to the future, past tech, and weapons. In one comic, he even took control over Galactus to consume Multiverse.
Oh. Well, I think brains will win over brawn anytime.
Go ahead.
But yes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't know. Galactus is full of. I know. On a single universe scale, he's the baddest thing in that universe. Now, I don't know if he destroys multiple universes. That's the thing. I don't know if his power expands past just the universe that he's in.
This
You know what I'm
Kang,
saying?
this Kang,
Like it's kind of like the same thing with Thanos. Thanos is dope within the universe that he's in, but his power is only that dope within the universe that he's in.
does Kang ever get laid? Like he had no ladies there at the, no harem.
Nothing.
I'm just like,
yo, that's why he was like, kill me.
Yeah.
Kill me now.
He could be stacking up variants of the same Betty, you know? Just
Ew.
how's that ew?
Yo, there's that moment. There's that
sisterhood.
moment when the female Loki looks at him and she's like, bang, and he's like, yeah. I'm not even lying. Like there really is that moment. She's like, bang.
Rhea 3443. MCU is just super performative, and it is all marketing. Essentially, they're still very sexist, racist, homophobic. I mean, I'm not gonna say all that. But thank you for the super chat, nonetheless. I'm not gonna say all that, but it's the thing about it is you can't help but virtue signal in this day and age.
It's like I think they feel like they have to in order to be relevant and to make things that people want to watch. Yeah.
Well, there's a big argument going on right now on the internet because like one of the fastest growing segments of entertainment is manga, right? And manga, in case you don't know, is like graphic art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like comics.
Yeah.
Comics that are done overseas, typically from Japan.
Yeah.
Right. So out of the top 20 selling graphic novels in the world, all of them are manga. All of them. And used to be like from time to time, it'd be like some US titles and this, that, and the third. So comic book people outside of the MCU and the cinematic universe, comics in general for American audience is slipping. It's losing money. Whereas manga is going on strong, like hardcore strong. To the point that it's influencing American Western readers to get involved with it as well. So a lot of people are asking the question and they're like, why? Why is this happening? And one of the many answers, whether you agree with it or not, is that it's because American comics, MCU, is placating to try to appeal to everybody. Everybody. And if you appeal to everybody, then you're essentially going to appeal to no one. Whereas manga, an overseas comic base, graphic novel, it appeals to their audience, period. Their audience likes seeing scantily clad ladies with their breasts out and doing crazy things. That may not necessarily fly here in the States, but culturally it works for them, and they're not going to placate and let that go for anybody. So they know who they're serving. They know who their target marketing is. Whereas the American graphics novels here and comics here, it used to be kind of in that same area. If you look at like comic book covers from like in the 80s, it's very sexualized, extremely sexualized, but they knew that that's who their audience was, and now they're kind of like turning away from it. Now I'm just using women in these comics as an example, but it's other areas as well, not just like the feminist movement. It's stuff about turning white characters brown, making everything socially conscious. All of this stuff is like going on, and for whatever reason, whoever their core audience is, whatever the social reason is, they're turning away from that because they feel that their needs are not being addressed. Be it positive or negative, I'm just saying that they're not buying in the scale that they used to.
Right.
Whereas manga is like, this is who we serve, this is what they want, and we're not changing it.
But the thing is though, like manga has lots of different types too. Like I enjoy reading the ones that are like super feminine and really cute. So like there's something for everyone.
You know who doesn't have
it knows its audience, and the ones that you want, it knows your audience. It's like, it's gonna be super cute. We're gonna have the little bubbly eyes and the cute little toys and the bunny ears on the ladies, whatever it is that moves that audience. They don't move away from it. They're like, this is who we're serving and this is who we're going to serve. Marvel and the MCU is no longer in that business. They're trying to make something for everybody.
Right.
And it's not going to necessarily work.
You know who has zero issues with the over-sexualization of women in comics and stuff like that?
Who?
All them ladies who go to Comic-Con and dress up like those characters. They don't have an issue at all.
It's like,
they seem to like it just fine.
I like Halloween in July.
I once went to Comic-Con. And there was, I kid you not, a woman whose outfit was black electrical tape down her body like that. Ooh. That was it.
What did she have on her hoo-ha?
Oh, just pants. Like she had pants, but like it was literally just black electrical tape going down her body. Like no bra, no shirt, nothing else. She don't have a problem with over-sexualization. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? It was just tape.
Hey, so long as you're not showing your nips, no one should get like offended, right?
Anish Foole says, what if Taskmaster shown in Black Widow is just a copy of what the real Taskmaster is like and the real one is still not shown? That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I thought about
Oh.
that. I mean, just because
It's
of
like
all
there's so many different variations of Lokis. Why wouldn't there be like there's an alligator Loki, which is all the way left, right? Like all the way in the field somewhere you never see coming. Why can't Kang do that as well?
Jay Solanke says men also sexualized in the MCU like Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. The thing about it is the argument I've heard is that it's not necessarily the same thing. They're not necessarily sexualized. It's more of how men want to see themselves. So it's not the same.
Oh, because men want to see themselves as hot.
As like as these superheroes. That's like it's how they see themselves in the fantasy. I'm like, all right.
I was watching this.
You can't win these arguments. Men can't be over sexualized.
Yeah. I was watching a YouTube video of like basically clips of Scarlett Johansson just dealing with sexist comments or whatever, but like you do notice it, or at least in that video, where a lot of the times she's at the press junkets and the male stars are being asked like proper serious questions, and then with her it's like, so how did you fit into your costume?
Look,
what was your diet regime like? And also, wait, hold on, I'm not done yet, please. And also, I'm okay. I'm done now because you interrupted me and now I'm nervous. I got nothing.
I'm
sorry.
Nervous. I'm just saying because I wanted to respond to that very thing you just mentioned because I saw that video and it's just a montage of every time she gets asked about like the underwear she's wearing or like the outfit she has on, and how she fits in there, like what her regime is. And the thing about it is, I'm pretty sure if you scouted the internet, you could find interviews where Chris Hemsworth and Chris whoever was asked the same goddamn question in a different way. And there's probably a montage but that's not going to get clicks. What's going to get clicks is Scarlett Johansson getting asked this and like, oh my God, it's so offensive. That's going to get clicks. I don't know, but I'm speaking out of my ass here. So
no, I think there's something to that, but there's also, know your audience, know who you're selling these things to. Like this fan base of Marvel superheroes with the over-sexualization of women and stuff like that. It's not like it just popped up on the scene. That fan base has been there for like 30 plus years, and they're old men doing it as well, who have handed these comics down to younger people who see it for what it is. It's an uncomfortable truth. Yeah. So if you're going to jump into those hot waters with that type of fan base, then you're going to get those type of questions. And it's just silly to me for people to be like, all of a sudden, people are just going to have this social conscious epiphany and be like, we're going to change who we are at our core. No, your audience is this. This is your audience. So what do you think your audience is going to say to you? Like, that's the thing that gets me. That's why I go back to manga. They know their audience.
Right.
So when they get asked that crazy question, they're like, yeah, we know our audience is going to say that. It's not a shock. It's like, oh, I can't believe you said that. Right. No, they know their audience. Right. Like Marvel's roots run deep. And that's not going to change overnight.
Right. Well, I think the thing Achara was specifically talking about was questions from journalists.
Yeah.
Right, from interviewers. It's a little bit different than like some rando
just the random fans.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was thinking about though was like a specific moment where someone said, like a reporter was like, how do you feel being like the sexiest person in the Avengers? And then she's like, excuse me, have you not seen Chris Hemsworth or like all the other Chris's here right now? Like.
Yeah, but no one's looking at their ass.
Everyone was looking at America's ass.
Not really. That was a profile.
America's ass, Frank.
That was a profile shot. That was. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but they still kind of took it tongue in cheek because in Black Widow, her little sister per se, she made a jest about the pose, which is an absolutely ridiculous pose. It is a ridiculous pose, but it's great.
It looks cool though.
It's good on screen. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the one that originated. It was what's her name from The Matrix, right?
Trinity.
Oh, Trinity.
Trinity was the one that hit that.
Well,
actually,
I mean, that was
in the shell first.
That was stolen, from anime. So and it was all over the place in anime, and then Trinity started doing it too. And it's like, the thing about it is, none of those poses are practical. To land like that, you'd break your goddamn hips. Like everything would snap.
And your wrists.
Yeah, like your knee would pop out of place. Like none of that makes any sense. Like the way she lands on top of the catwalk or whatever it's called in the prison, she comes off that rope into a gainer and lands knee straight into the ground. I'm like, that shit's done. Like, you're not getting up. You ain't throwing nobody around it like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? She slammed it right into the floor.
Yeah.
But that's the joke of it. We don't go to see the super hyper realism.
Right.
You know, you go to be entertained. And then lo and behold, she ends up doing the same pose.
Right.
You know, so I was like, I appreciated that. I was like, that's funny.
I don't mind the landing poses at all because it's all very stylized and whatnot. But like, I did have somewhat of a problem when she just like bounced off the roof of a building and landed right before she had to kill the girl. Or right before the girl got
whereas
killed.
the other girl from the red room was like, I'm so broken.
Yeah, she fell off the building and like was broken like Buzz from Toy Story. But like Scarlett Johansson like falls and like lands into the air conditioning unit, like comes down and then lands like nothing.
It's
like
all right because her fall was broken.
Her fall was broken?
Yeah, her fall was broken by hitting all that stuff, whereas the other girl just did a direct fall.
See,
you know?
Black Widow became it became very Fast and Furious-y for me. It was like, did you watch the new Fast and Furious?
No, I haven't seen the new one yet.
Someone gets their fall broken by a car in that movie. Like, someone's falling from up high, and then in comes Vin Diesel with his car to break the fall with metal.
It's soft, okay?
But yo, that's why I love the Fast and Furious franchise. To me, I think it is probably one of the most genius franchises of all time. Why? Simply because it knows what it is and it doesn't deviate.
Yeah.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
So I gotta catch up on some of these supers real quick.
Oh, yeah.
A6 official. Gwyneth comes with an Iron Man suit. Tobey Maguire. Nice suit. Did your husband make it for you? Gwyneth, that's that face.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nice. Yeah.
That's dark.
Sad.
And then Rohit Bhavehali. I've been a fan of Achara for a long time. You guys have redefined YouTube for me. I literally wait for your reaction on every video I want to watch just to watch it again with you guys. Much love.
Aw.
Dummy test. Manga focuses more on new types of storytelling more than trends. They can use bonkers concepts in very good ways in storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nandu Krishnan. Apparently in Loki finale episode's Marvel opening, there were dialogues from Fox, Sony, Marvel films. Also, since the multiverse has been introduced, do you think Deadpool would be playing a cameo in the upcoming MCU movies?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where he fits in all this, though.
It doesn't matter.
He breaks
It
the
doesn't
fourth
matter
wall.
because of multiverse.
That's
you
why.
can. You can. And X-Men as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have all of that. I
forgot to
want
shout
more
out
X-Men.
Abdali Chatarwala. Thank you for your super chat. You didn't say nothing, but just want to shout you out. So, I've been like, I think that it's been so long. They've been pushing this off for such a long time with Deadpool being involved because, like, how would you integrate that? Someone who breaks the fourth wall, like the style of storytelling going on thus far does not line up with Deadpool in the least. So how do you integrate that? You see what I'm saying?
Or you pull a Wolverine again, and it's like, we'll have him, but his mouth will be sewn shut. So no talking.
Surav Underkar says there are more powerful characters than Kang, like the Living Tribunal, Eternity, Infinity. By the way, one above all is most powerful character, and Doctor Doom once became God Emperor Doom after Multiverse War.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was like Secret War, right? God, yeah, when Doctor Doom finally like wins it all, right? I think. Oh man, now my brain's about to break again. Chat, please correct me.
Pratham says that Loki's episode 6 opening had a Hindi song in it.
Did it?
I didn't catch that. I did not catch that.
There was a lot going on in the beginning there.
Then Bhaskar in the comments of the video says, I think Kang already changed the sacred timeline. Every time he dies, he changes his past. Loki's the same.
Is in the same TVA.
Sorry, I just had to like catch my breath. Loki's in the same TVA, but this TVA is already ruled by Kang. Hunter B15 even said to Mobius there he wants to do when they were looking at Time Pad.
She mentioned he, which I think is Kang. Maybe that is who she's talking about. At first, when she said he, I thought she meant Loki, but.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me see these comments here. What else has Jonathan Majors done besides
Lovecraft?
Lovecraft?
That's the main one that I could think of. He did something else. Now I gotta go on IMDb. Golly, making me do work.
What did you think of that quote that Loki said on the train? Love is an imaginary dagger. It's a weapon to be wielded far away or up close. You can see yourself in it. It's beautiful until it makes you bleed, but ultimately when you reach for it, it isn't real.
Yeah, I loved that. And then he was all like, oh, that was dumb, wasn't it? Like, he totally undermined what he just said. But on some level...
I don't understand that it's... Oh, it's an imaginary dagger. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think that's what made me, like, really sad. Like, it really affected me because in his understanding, love is an illusion. Like, it's not real. In his experience, he's never experienced real love. Like, it's something beautiful, but it's something dangerous and it can hurt you. And so I was just like, oh, wow. Your life is sad, dude.
Anish Fule says, I haven't watched the reaction yet, but I'm willing to bet they don't know He Who Remains is a variant of Kang the Conqueror. I didn't know. I think that was something that they decided to do for this show, because the way they show He Who Remains in the comics, he's an old-ass white dude.
Yeah.
He looks nothing like Kang.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, you know what? When you're doing these reactions, at least for stuff like this, when you know you're being watched by the Marvel fanboy gatekeepers, sometimes it just makes it harder, because it's like, while I might normally be having a conversation with Jaby going, wait, is this what it is? And it's like, but you're being judged by the people if you don't know, because everyone knows, right? Everyone knows. Everyone's so smart. And so, you know, if you're just vaguely confused, it's all like, oh no, you get your Marvel card revoked. You are not qualified to watch these movies. Go home, lady.
Yeah.
And clean the kitchen, because that's where you belong.
Abhishek,
you know?
Abhishek Mohanty. Abomination was seen in Shang-Chi trailer after Incredible Hulk. It will also appear in She-Hulk. She-Hulk also breaks the fourth wall.
Ooh, that's exciting. I like Hulk.
I'm not excited by this
The She-Hulk?
female appropriation business, but
that's been
it is
in the
what it is.
comics, though.
I know.
Yeah, She-Hulk's been around for a minute.
It's in the. Why is it in the comics, Achara? Why is it in the comics? Why do you think it's in the comics? You think it's because the guys want to see that? It's to try to lure in female readers who don't give a shit about the MCU. But like they could just.
It's kind of hot though in the old school comics.
They could they could just bring in female characters that are cool unto themselves.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Rather than like She-Thor and She-Hulk and She-Man and all them shits.
She-Man. It's She-Ra.
She-Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't need a
Iron She.
I don't need a Gwyneth Paltrow Iron Lady.
She's just trying. She's just going around trying to give people bad medicine and shit.
I think you need to do a vagina cleanse. Steam your vagina, ladies. Apparently, it's really good.
Gwyneth Paltrow is just like the most misleading individual right now in Hollywood, trying to like sell people on bad shit. Is what I understand.
Not all of it is bad. It's just out there.
She's causing more harm than good. The only good thing
Paltrow needs to be stopped.
The only good thing she's done is showed up to Avengers Endgame in the Iron Man suit. Okay, so Matthew Sarah says, I love how mentally unhinged this version of Kang, He Who Remains, is. He has seen it all and done it all, but it has left him without a glorious purpose. He has everything and yet nothing. He knows everything that is going to happen to him, and it has left him sad, bored, deranged, and most importantly, broken. Him dying excites him, but also scares him because an even worse version of himself, the actual King, is on the way. And if he is way worse than this version, that truly is frightening. I can't wait for Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
That still doesn't explain the lack of a harem. Like, what's in the rest of this castle?
Right.
There's a big ass place. Like, you know, where's the pinball room? You know, where's all the other shit? Because it's just a bunch of black cracks and whatnot. Like, you know, and he had a room with a table.
Yeah.
With a nice view of the universe. Kang revealed other reactors and YouTubers. Shock face. Jaby to Achara. Stoic face.
No, because I was literally thinking, you know, like when it was happening, there was just so much going on. I was like, I don't want to kind of preemptively be all like, oh my God, is it this? Because I was like, no, it can't.
Exactly.
Like, I don't trust this. What is this? I was just like very cautious.
I did have a face, I think. But, you know, I think in my mind, my expressions are bigger than they are. In my mind, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but your expressions are very.
But my expressions are a lot more subtle than that. Abhishek Mohanty super chatted twice the same thing. Ironheart is a black girl, and it is happening in the MCU.
Yep.
What does she
Well,
do?
at least the characters that they are taking in the MCU, they are in the lore of the comics themselves. So that's their out. You know, they can be like, we're doing these big changes, but they really did happen in the comics. It's not even an out. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Shashank G says, Q&A, Sylvie used Kang Tempad. She didn't have full knowledge or control over it, so Portal Loki is lost cause. In unknown timeline, New Branch Timelines has everything.
That's what I was saying. I was like, yo, she learned that mad quick. Like she just grabbed it and was like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. like she could have pushed him in a volcano for all she knew.
Right?
We're learning on the fly.
Ken Sane says, Dear Sylvie, thank you for your mindless actions that caused the multiverse. Now Spider-Man No Way Home is happening in the Multiverse of Madness and more. Sincerely, MCU fans.
Yeah.
Damn. Karen overpowered.
Have somebody that's going to be the heel. Somebody.
Right.
Damn you, Star-Lord.
She's the new Star-Lord, man.
Wait, is this true?
Yes.
Vortex T says, what do you feel about Don Cheadle getting an Emmy for a 1-minute role in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Did he really?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
What?
He did like a 10-minute spiel in the very beginning of like episode 1.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, and it's the whole, what are you doing? Captain America would have been disappointed. He gave you the mantle speech, and they gave him, or they're nominating him for an Emmy for that. It's like,
Did they not have enough nominees?
did they not see the performance of the what's his name? Oh my gosh, Black Captain America, the one that was in the 40s that broke out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like y'all just ignored
Isaiah?
his multiple,
Yeah.
Isaiah. Y'all ignored Isaiah's multiple instances within this series and picked a hot 16 that Don Cheadle dropped. I love Don Cheadle. I'm a super fan of Don Cheadle, but Don Cheadle handled it well. He was like, I mean, I guess that's pretty much was his whole attitude.
Well,
Because he knows it.
you know what's cool though? Aaron Toney is nominated for a stunt Emmy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
I texted him. I'm like, what? Is this for real? He's like, yeah, man.
They do stunts now in the Emmys, or is it?
I guess
the
so. This
Taurus
has been something
Awards?
that they've been that they've been fighting for a while.
That's awesome.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
It's
I don't
tough.
understand why they don't have their own award category to begin with. They should have been had it.
Well, they
Even
have
from the Buster Keaton days, they should have had it.
they have their own award thing called the Taurus Awards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but it's like it's got different categories of action, and that's where all the stunt people, coordinators, and all those people go, fight choreographers and whatnot. But as far as like the Academy Awards and Emmys, it's like I can kind of understand why it's not its own section, because it's so complicated. Like, how do you boil that down into a single award? You know what I mean? It's like the
Right.
stunts. It's such a varied.
Because like who do
thing
you
unto
who do you
itself.
credit? Do you credit
Yeah.
the stunt person who performed it? Do you credit the,
Well, you
the
have
action
riggers.
choreographer, the riggers, the
Yeah, you got stunt riggers. You got stunt people themselves. You got doubles. It's just like, and it's like there's so many factions within that. You know what I'm saying? You have the people who do the very complicated stunts, and the people who do the falls. Like, so they don't get acknowledged. It's like, how do you do that?
right?
Well, can't you just have like the coordinator, the person that's like, okay, we're gonna put these dope set of stunts together for this entire project, and the person that actually did that dope stunt?
I feel like you're oversimplifying it. It's a lot more complicated than that.
But the Oscars, the award shows are is the basic. I mean, it's all oversimplified.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying it's all subjective.
Right.
I just want them to get their just dues. That's all I'm saying. I want them to be recognized for the dope shit that they do.
Yeah.
No,
Movies,
absolutely, absolutely. It's just that it's okay. So when you can have two writers competing or 5 writers, as it were, competing for an Academy Award, they're all
Okay.
starting at the same place behind the keyboard, like doing this thing and making their story to the best of their abilities within their control. And an actor takes on a role based on a script and goes, okay, yeah, I like this. I'm going to take on this and blah, blah, blah. With stunts, it's sort of like, it's a job. Like, there's not as much of like, I'm going to do this because creatively it suits me. It's like, no, it's a job. You're showing up to a job. It's like, you're not going to start giving the boom operator with the sound an Academy Award.
Right.
That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You're not going to give the AC who's keeping focus like nobody's goddamn business. You're not going to give him an award, even though that shit's hella fucking hard. So,
Right.
like, I think the stunt people are put into the same category, even though you see them and they're risking their lives. It's hard to like really qualify that, when it's like they're showing up to a job doing the thing that they were assigned to do by the stunt coordinator.
Right.
You see what I'm saying, or no?
Well,
It's below.
it's
It's because it's below the line. That's why. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Yeah.
I just want them to get their flowers, man.
I do too. No, that's the thing is like I do as well. I just know how complicated it is to try to assign like an award to that. It's like that's really complicated. So I think it's dope that Aaron Toney's nominated. I just don't know how we're going to do this going forward because it's like, okay, how do you compare Aaron Toney's doing his crazy ass flips at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or whatever they called it. I'm sorry, my brain's just broken for a second. Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought I messed up the name of the show for a second. How do you compare that to a car stunt, like something out of Baby Driver, assuming Baby Driver was a TV show? How do you compare that? Those are two different specialties.
I hear you, but I say something's better than nothing. It's subjective, and just be like, yo, this was the stunt that had everybody in theater lose their damn minds, and I'm going to nominate this person for an award. Right. I'm sure, the person that does swimming stunts is way different than the person that does motorcycle stunts. But
right.
Damn it, that reaction that happened in the theater because they did that specific job so well, they need some recognition.
Yeah.
I don't know how you break it down, and I certainly I don't want to like make it seem like all stunts are the same because you are right. There's levels to it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and I don't want to cheapen the experience. But in that same token, man, they risk their lives to this stuff, man. I just want them to be like, yo, you almost killed yourself. Here's a cool little plastic award to say thank you.
So when the next Mission Impossible comes out, do we give Tom Cruise an award for doing some crazy ass stunts himself? Like,
if it's dope, do
you see what I'm saying? Like, where do you draw the line? It just gets really hairy, is all I'm saying.
Subjective. Yeah,
it gets sticky.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, though. Yeah. I do. I legitimately do see where you're coming from.
Okay, so I don't think I read this part. A6 official. Imagine Tobey Maguire appears in Spider-Man movie and his name on driving license is Mr. Plisput Fingerlin Mass? I don't get this reference. Do you?
Do you understand?
Does anyone else understand this reference?
I don't understand.
Noob. Someone explain it in the chat. Abhishek Mahanti, what do you have to say about Robert Downey Jr. on following the entire Marvel cast and Marvel official page? His page is not hacked, by the way. He's just mad because Dr. Dolittle didn't do shit. That's what happened.
Whatever.
It's like, I don't need you. I don't need none of you. Dr. Dolittle's a genius. Best performance of my career. I don't know why he did that. Who knows what informs that? Maybe his kid got a hold of his phone. He's got kids, right?
Yeah.
He may be a little bitter.
Or he just doesn't, maybe he has the phone numbers of everything that everyone that he wants to keep in contact with, and he's just like, I'm done with Marvel.
Maybe he tried to pull a cipher. You know what? Do you remember what Joe Pantoliano was trying to do with Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions? He was trying to come back, and the Wachowskis were like, "You dead? You can't come back. We can't bring your character back." And so there was talk about bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. But I'm like, you're gonna completely undermine that whole thing,
but you can though with but see, that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Once you start dealing with interdimensionals and split universes, there's no more stakes. This is what I'm talking about. This.
Yeah. 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 I lost my train of thought. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, if the fans are rabid enough, he'll be back because Disney cares about dollar signs.
Oh, you know what?
If they think they can make a big gigantic profit, they'll have him back in some capacity.
What I was thinking about was Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. That's what I was thinking about. Because do you remember what happened with that back in the day?
No, they weren't.
You know what happened, right? You don't know?
What happened?
Okay,
tell
so
us.
Conan O'Brien had been eyeing the midnight spot, the late show, for a long time. He had been waiting for it for years. He'd been doing the late show, which comes on at like 1 a.m. For years, and he would get fans writing to him saying I'm grown up now and I love your show, but I can't stay up that late. I got kids, etc. I wish you were in the late show spot. And after a while, Jay Leno was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to retire this. It's going to go to Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien inherited it, and Jay Leno went up to the 10 p.m. slot. Only nobody was watching Jay Leno. And Conan O'Brien was struggling to get a foothold with this audience because his humor is just different than Jay Leno's.
Right.
Right?
Very.
And so NBC freaked out, and they're like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to split the difference. Jay Leno is going to get the late show, and it's going to be a shorter late show, and Conan O'Brien's going to come in at 12:30. And Conan's like, what? No, that's stupid. Like, if you're not going to let me do this show the way it's intended, I'm leaving. And that's why I ended up leaving NBC.
Left. Right.
But, like, basically, Jay Leno was trying to do a take-back on that slot that he gave up. And so what I'm saying here is I think Robert Downey Jr. was trying to do a little bit of a take-back when he saw Dr. Dolittle wasn't doing shit. He's like, I need this Iron Man back. Anyway, I don't think that's informing his move because someone said in the chat that he's not following anybody on Instagram.
Yeah, he's
He
probably.
might be tired of it too. He may just want a clean break. You know,
Well,
like when you break up with an ex.
I think he just needed a vacation from the MCU. He just needed a vacation. That's it. He didn't need to die. He just needed to vacate for a second and come
maybe.
back. Like, refresh himself.
Did
I
you
think he'll be back.
did you guys hear about the changes that Kevin Feige made with the contracts now?
No.
Um,
Everyone gets a car.
No, I think he's no. I mean, chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, it's something like they're no longer doing like multi-film deals
Why not?
because then people get locked into doing these movies and they have no passion for it. They want people who are actually passionate about doing the Marvel movies because I guess they've had too many like big name stars who are like.
But they become big names because of these movies. Like Robert Downey Jr.'s career came back so fierce because of the MCU. Like, yes, he was kind of on his way because he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then he did Good Night and Good Luck with George Clooney. But like, what really put him back on the map was Iron Man.
Yeah, but also Robert Downey Jr. is definitely more of like your artistic type actor. I don't know if he was feeling superly.
Look, the reason why they do these multi-film deals is so that they can get a good deal on the actors. It's like, okay, you're not super well known yet, and you're about to be, but we're gonna lock you in at SAG standard rates
For 6 movies.
For 6 movies, you're gonna get $650 a day for 6 movies, and then you can renegotiate for $1 million, $10 million, or whatever it is. You know, it's like most of Friends, they weren't making $1 million an episode. That wasn't until like season 7 or something. They started making $1 million an episode. But most of the show, they were doing all right, you know. But anyway, Robert Downey Jr. is following nobody, except Jaby Koay.
Yeah,
That's
he's
weird.
probably just tired of the madness. Yo, I gotta get me some trail mix. I'll be right back. My stomach is
I thought that was you for a second. I'm like, how'd you land on RDJ's?
No,
His dad passed away apparently.
I'm not friends with him. Oh, his dad passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
I think it's his dad. RDJ's dad passed away, and he's following 0 people. I think he's just taking a break. You can take a break without unfollowing the world. Hold on. What is this?
It's just distractions, right?
What's he playing? He's playing Mario Kart 64? What is this?
Oh, is that his character?
I guess. I don't know how that worked out.
That's cute.
But anyway, I do hope to see Robert Downey Jr. back in the MCU. I do hope he comes back because I think he was just like such a strong part of it. It's like, how do you go on without him?
Yeah.
You know.
Vortex T says, in my opinion, the MCU is going to start getting unhinged in a few years because of the multiverse. Just think, if you were born 5 to 10 years from now, would you really go back from 2008 to revise all the films? Yeah, it feels like right now with Marvel, if you haven't been watching the movies, it's really hard to get into it. Like when Endgame was coming out, a friend of mine was like, I want to watch Endgame. And I said, listen, you're going to have to watch all the films to be able to fully appreciate the gravity of this. And so she did that. She did her homework in order to be able to watch it. But yeah.
All you need is one good, you know, getting stricken with the coronavirus for like in a couple weeks, and you can watch all the Marvel movies
and shows and everything.
shows. Yeah, you can catch up real quick. You know, once you're healed, you'll be like, not only do I feel better, I know everything about Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
You'll be better than all of us. Yeah.
Jar of Snoke says, your reaction to Kang isn't embarrassing. It's a reason why it was good they introduced him this way. More of the general audience will know who he is when he returns in the movies. I agree with that. But I mean, I knew who he was when I saw him. I just wasn't like 100% sure. Because, like, you know what it was? When Kang showed up, or He Who Remains showed up,
yeah.
when he showed up, I was afraid of looking racist by saying, is that Kang?
Yeah.
Because I knew what the actor who was playing Kang generally looked like.
Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. I knew what he generally looked like. And I'm like, well, maybe this guy just looks similar to Jonathan Majors.
So you thought you were going to say, like, we all look alike?
Yeah.
You never want to come out saying that, right?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the fucking worst. That would be the worst.
Okay, here's why I'm going to give you a pass. Because unless you've, like, really kept up with his career, I mean, how would you, like, recognize him off the top of your head, right? It's probably your first time seeing him because you haven't seen Lovecraft Country.
Well, I'd seen his pictures. I'd seen his pictures because we do the reactions to
New
Rock Stars breakdowns, and I think he mentioned Jonathan Majors, but only by picture.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if he was mentioned in there, but like, I knew his face, and I knew it was a black actor that I wasn't that familiar with. That's it.
Yeah.
What's so fucking funny?
It's just funny, man. The whole we all look alike thing just always cracks me up, man. Hey, I'm not mad at you, man. I mean, shit, this is a big public format. You got to make sure you get it right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's like, I've definitely made some like major gaffes on reaction videos, and it's just like, oh well, there it is.
Well, the way I took care of it in the reaction was like, I don't want to say something stupid, but I think such and such.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I just have to start saying that because I keep erring on the side of caution and not saying shit, not reacting, overreacting to something because I'm like I don't know if I know what I know, like I might be confused. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I just have to start calling it out, going, I might be wrong, but I think, you know?
Right. Yeah.
That's the best you can do.
Yeah.
It's like all these people in the keyboard warriors going, you didn't know shit. Like, put a camera on you for like 5 years and see how quick you are to say something without being nervous. But anyway, Barfi Ray says, you guys can't see it, but it's behind Syntell's head. In my personal opinion, Loki was not as good as WandaVision or Winter Soldier and Falcon. I thought Loki was the best of the three shows, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're definitely entitled to your opinion. I respect it, but you're wrong.
I think Loki was far and away the best of them.
I want to know why. You know, if he
don't you think so? Don't you think Loki was the best one of those three?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
I enjoyed it
It's just fun. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of like the story behind the story and the social justice, this, that, the third. It's just magic and people going to the end of time. Thank you. Let my brain relax for a second. You know, I'm looking forward to just that. Can I just be a happy nerd for a second?
Yeah, I think it would have made the show a lot better if they were like going in deep on like female rights and equality and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was missing that like social justice messaging. Yeah.
No.
I was wondering about like the end, if there was a message in there. I just couldn't unpack it. I couldn't because it kind of reminded me of, and like I'm gonna say this slowly, it kind of reminded me of like Saddam Hussein, because by taking out this guy in power, it unlocked a whole bunch of other bad guys, so to speak, namely Kang, right? Because by taking out Saddam Hussein, you had a whole bunch of splintered factions in the Middle East and whatnot, and those people vying for power.
Right.
Like Game of Thrones and shit in the Middle East. And that's why America's been fighting this endless fucking war over there.
I mean, I think this is pretty classic.
Is
it's
it?
like, I mean, yeah, it's like a Hydra.
I was just wondering if there was if it was trying to reference anything in real life, because the Disney shows have been doing that, at least on some level, talking about something. Like,
yeah.
And so it just made me wonder, like, what could this possibly be? Because the only thing I can think of in like, going back to my childhood and watching the news and whatnot is Saddam Hussein. Because I remember like how America, like when Saddam Hussein's statue went down and we're like, oh, look, they're all happy that Saddam Hussein is taken out. But the truth of the matter is they were pissed. And because he was keeping all the other much worse people in check.
Right.
Because Saddam Hussein was an awful, awful person, but he was keeping the much more awful, worse people, you know, at bay, so to speak. And so, you know, he who remains openly admitted that he's not good.
Yeah, and he says we're all villains.
Yeah, we're all villains. Exactly. Yeah. I loved their faces when he said that. Like, especially Tom Hiddleston's face is like, you got me.
There's some horrible things.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was just trying to figure out if there was any reference or correlation to real life at all, or if it was just strictly within the confines of fantasy here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
I think if I had to squeeze blood out of this rock, if I had to, it would maybe be the dangers of having belief, right? Because we think, what's her name? Renslayer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Renslayer is a believer to the point that even though obvious evidence is put in front of her, she's still clutching onto the foundations that the TVA is what it is because it is her identity, right? And I think you can kind of like put that in terms of like religion, be it in terms of people that are like whatever it is that you overly
absolutely
to the point that you will not allow a conversation to be held. I think it speaks to that to those individuals.
Yeah. There's a I forget the name of it. I think it's. Can you look it up on? I think it was. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but it's called An Honest Liar, I believe. And it was about this old magician who what he would do is because his whole thing is like, I am a magician. I'm going to. It's called An Honest Liar. It's from 2014. I don't know if it's on Netflix still, but it was dope. And he's like, his whole thing is this. I'm a magician, and I'm going to tell you I'm going to play a trick on you, and I'm going to play the trick on you, and then we're going to be done with that. So if he takes your watch or your wallet or something out of your pocket, he's going to give it back to you, right? That's okay in his opinion. But to use those tricks on a larger scale to take from you
and not give back
is theft, you know? And the specific people he was going after was like he was going for an evangelical pastor or something like that, one of those healers. Right. You know, feel the power of Jesus. You know, like one of those people. Let Jesus heal you. Like he was going after one of those dudes, and because this guy would like call someone from the back of the room and be like, you've got this ailment of some kind. God's talking to me. You've got this ailment of some kind. I'm gonna heal you. And what the magician found out was that he was getting a radio signal from his wife in the back of the room, who had all these little papers filled out of people like basically writing in their prayers, and that's how he knew who to call. And even though he exposed this person, this pastor, who was robbing people blind, after he exposed it, the pastor dipped out for like a couple months and came back. Business resumed as usual. You know,
business was booming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, to what you're saying, it's like so deeply entrenched in us that like we just need this thing, even though it's like staring us in the face like this is awful. We should like unsubscribe to these notions. We still do anyway, you know.
And we click the bell icon.
Kartik Sharma. So far, the villains and new badass heroes in Phase 4 are more women than men.
Yeah, it's very female heavy.
What does that tell you?
I mean,
bring back the men. It rubber banded too much.
We were just keeping the women at bay. Shit's about to get much worse.
Oh yeah, that's why it's called the Multiverse of Madness, you guys.
Exactly.
I'm glad you said it.
Too many ladies.
Hey, and here's the crazy thing. I'm gonna watch it. I'm watching. I'm watching. Just entertain me. Just entertain.
No, I was just gonna say, like, wait until all their periods sync up. Oh boy. Then then you'll be able to time it. There's like a week where it's just like the madness factor goes way high.
The syncing of the periods was actually a notion I was trying to tap into, but I couldn't quite like make the joke in my brain, so I wasn't gonna say it out loud. But like something about that, because all the women just happen to be in the same spot at the end in the War of Infinity War and Endgame.
There
like,
isn't some sort of like period magnet that just makes you like be in the same area as everyone. We're just like woohoo!
The great Vag Mag.
My sisters need me.
The great vaginal magnet.
I feel a rumble. Let's go. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Maybe Karen is the real Kang.
Yeah.
It's all
like
subversion.
Kang has one of those like face thingies, like in Black Widow. He takes it off and he's actually a Karen.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's all subversion.
He's the manager of this universe.
yeah.
It's not really virtue signaling. They're trying to show us who the real enemy is.
Oh my God.
The vagina.
Oh.
Don't forget, that's where you were born.
Exactly. It's been rough ever since.
Hey, so okay. With that being said, if you're just guessing, is this next iteration of the MCU going to be as successful as the last, with all the changes that they're making?
Absolutely.
I think it will.
Yeah,
That money's not going anywhere. That money's staying right on red.
I know I ain't going nowhere.
They'd have to mess it up really, really badly, I think, for it to not make as much money, if not more. You know what I mean? Like they'd have to. I reckon they would have to do like 3 or 4 back-to-back super shitty movies, and then maybe people would start to lose faith.
Rage Deer. Jaby, when Saddam died, there was a protest in my town. I don't know the details, but that was the most weird protest I've ever seen till date.
Wow.
So there you go, man. There you go. That's how deeply entrenched. But I mean, who knows what informs a protest after Saddam Hussein dies? Who knows what informs that? Because it could have been a mix between, someone who goes, well, this is better than something worse, and Kim Jong-un. That fake love for the North Korean dictators that, like, you see these people just hysterically crying when, like, one of the North Korean dictators dies. It's like, aren't you happy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think, talking about the theme at the end, like, I was kind of thinking about Machiavelli when I saw He Who Remains, because it's like the whole idea is sometimes you need a benevolent dictator, to keep things in check. And maybe he was, for the universe or the timeline or whatever, he was that benevolent dictator. And now you take away the dictator and you have free will, and it's absolutely madness, and it's like utter chaos. Yeah.
Socialist you.
My dad's really big on like the Prince and Machiavelli and stuff and on all that jazz, so I just grew up.
Do you ever hear about the reality show that they tried to do with that's kind of like what was that Japanese movie with the island where all the people are trying to kill, like everyone's trying to murder each other?
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. It's kind of like that.
Oh,
that's basically.
There was a reality show. There was a reality show where they put all these kids in a town, no adult supervision at all, like Lord of the Flies.
Like Lord of the Flies, yeah.
And that shit got shut down really quick.
Kids are feral. You can't do that. They don't know the rules.
I mean, to me, that's what it's like when you take out Kang or He Who Remains. It's just like now shit's getting real.
Yeah.
Well, and the beauty of that is he gave him a choice. He's like, you got 2 options. You can either kill me or take power. Either way, I'm out. I mean, it don't matter what you pick. I'm done. This is all you. He handed him a bag of shit. Like, you do with it what you want.
Why did he have to die though? Couldn't he just bounce? Couldn't he just be like deuces and be like and dip out, like, out the left?
Oh, Kang?
Like out of the secret door to the left.
He's done.
He's that smart. No, but he could like go smell the roses somewhere. Like, why did he have to die? He could have just been like, Sylvie, it's yours. Goodbye.
Because he's experienced everything else in life except for death. It's the final frontier.
Yeah.
Giving up that harem is bullshit.
What harem? There was no harem there.
It was in the door to the left. It's just like in Gargoyles. It was in the door to the left. You just couldn't see it. Sapna Singh. You ever watch Gargoyles? You never.
Cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the old 90s cartoon.
Yeah. So, Sapna Singh, hey Jaby, I have noticed that you put your hand on your heart whenever you feel extremely sad or extremely happy or find something extremely funny. Is there a reason for that? It's cute.
He thinks he might die. That's why he's just making sure his heart's still beating. Is that right?
Why you got to go there? Why you got to get all dark? Damn.
Why, Jaby? Why?
Kartik Sharma. Maybe I'm just imitating Chris Evans.
Oh.
I present my fan theory here for the first time. Jane Foster's Lady Thor in Thor, Love and Thunder, is actually a variant and Sylvie's sister.
Oh.
And Sylvie.
Where does that get us?
Wait.
Where does that get us?
I'm very confused by this Lady
There's
Thor
this.
business.
That's always my question: is where does that get us? There was this notion that Earth DNA or human DNA on Earth or just life in general on Earth came from Mars, because like an asteroid hit Mars, kabloom, shit like spilled over, hit Earth, and that's how we got life. It's like, okay, now, but where does that get us?
Right.
Like, how does that further the conversation, really? So. I still can't believe Owen Wilson didn't get... Did you never heard that theory that life came from Mars? You look confused.
Well, I've heard of the seed theory that our DNA is other, was it not extraterrestrial? Yeah. That it didn't come from here and that, but I heard the theory about it being from comets that have hit the planet in the earlier years. I haven't heard the one about Mars, but I have heard the seed theory.
Did life come from Mars? To date, no proof or past or present life has been found on Mars. Cumulative evidence suggests that during the ancient Noachian time period, the surface environment of Mars had liquid water and may have been habitable for microorganisms. So that's the idea, is if like an asteroid hit Mars, then like pieces of it go flying out, hit Earth, and those microorganisms have a place to thrive.
Right.
You know, some of them end up in a liquid, what's it called? The primordial soup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
I just saw this interesting thing from Minik Manic. They said, I don't understand how people are okay with how much they sacrifice from Loki's character to make Sylvie shine. He became a dumbass that is not evolving as a character, and she never changed.
I disagree with that
I
completely.
don't agree with that.
I disagree with that completely.
I think
If anything, he got way smarter over the course of the show.
And he definitely evolved.
He got so much smarter over the course of the show. I think he became an even more likable person over the course of the show, because it's like you already had him because he like had the comedy, the wit.
Yeah, you liked him for all those reasons.
You just weren't sure about him, but like over the course of the show, he's grown as a person into someone who's like, he has love in his heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
and he can see the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's a totally different Loki. I think he's become way more interesting, way more likable, because it's like he has all those complexities from his past and this new understanding of being, you know? Simple question from Vortex T. Do you think Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 will have the same traction as they did in 2009 today in the age of MCU? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think they should have come out with those sequels much sooner. It's been so long. It's like, me personally, I'm like, I don't really care anymore. I mean, I'll watch it. I hope it's good. But if it's like mediocre, then I won't watch any of the subsequent ones.
I think it depends on what the gimmick is. Okay, so the gimmick with the first one is it was probably one of the best digital 3D movies, probably even still. It's probably one of the better ones of all time, and it was like a really good gimmick. James Cameron is spending a disgusting amount of money on the tech that's being used in order to create the multiple worlds, be it the land version of the Avatar aliens, the underwater ones, I don't know, it's like so many different subspecies that's within the planet. Now, depending on what that gimmick is, on how they bring these different cultures in and how they evolve with the story, if it works, it'll probably be one of the greatest money-making franchises of all time. But it has to be a hell of a gimmick. I don't know what that is, but James Cameron is a very smart guy, and he doesn't just blow money to blow money, and he's spending a dumb amount of money on it. Like, it's insane how much money he's spending on it. And if I'm a bet, I'm probably going to bet on James Cameron than against James Cameron.
Yeah. He's older now, though. You know, who knows?
Yeah, like Spielberg, he might have lost a step.
Yeah.
It's a young man's game.
I don't know. You know about this PC game that they've been making forever? I can't remember the name of it, like Starfield or something like that. Someone in the chats will say
super
what it is.
Ambitious one, right?
Yeah, super ambitious, and they just keep refining it and refining it and refining it. It's never going to get done. but they keep refining. It's supposed to be the greatest game of all time. I feel like that's possibly what's happening with Avatar, because it's like, oh, it's got to be better than the first one.
Yeah.
It's got to blow the first one out the water.
Because if it doesn't,
And so it's like, I almost wonder if he caught himself in a Howard Hughes situation with with that first movie that he made about the planes. It's like he spent years on this movie, and then the talkies came out with sound, and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta go remake this movie again with sound now." Add 203. Thank you for your super chat. Some people are saying that Sylvie is dumb because she did what Star-Lord did in Infinity War. But remember, if Star-Lord didn't mess up, there will be no Avengers Endgame. Now without Sylvie, there will be no multiverse. Those people who hated and called Star-Lord dumb were also the ones who loved Endgame. That will happen again for sure because... Yeah, but that's not the point.
Well, but both can exist too. You could be a dumbass and then be the fulcrum to a great movie.
Yeah,
dumbass who's a fulcrum to a great movie, like he was a dumbass who's a fulcrum to a great movie.
Right. He just bounced. It's like on that mic drop.
A mic drop. Leave. Yeah.
In my opinion, the next okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I wish it didn't have to be that way. I wish they found a different way, more clever, that didn't result in sacrificing our love for a character in order to move the story forward. Like, ego.
But sometimes,
ego, hubris is the reason why all this shit unfolds. With characters that we love. Like, I wish that maybe somehow, some way, some shape, some form, you had a character in there that we didn't like necessarily, that we already didn't like, that did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
someone who's questionable, like who has to be part of the team because of their powers, but they're kind of unhinged. And you know that that's potentially a problem.
Wouldn't that be just too obvious, though?
I'd rather that than them fuck up my love for Star-Lord. I liked his character a lot. And now I can't stand his ass. I'm like, you messed up all this shit. You're the reason why Robert Downey Jr. is not in the fucking MCU anymore.
Oh, come on now. I think that we can forgive. We can forgive characters like we can forgive people. You know, it's like he messed up.
That's permadeath.
It leaves room for redemption.
Exactly.
That's what's encouraging to me.
Yeah.
Is that I may not hate Star-Lord forever if they do something that redeems him that I really like, but it's got to be something really good, and then I'll go back over to Team Star-Lord. But right now he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And just like Lady Loki, it seems unredeemable, but I'm willing to forgive, but you just got to make it, you got to sell me on it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Like, no.
Unforgivable.
No.
I was so mad. Like, I just didn't feel good about him after that. I'm like, you should have just stayed dead. Keep the Black Widow, keep the Robert Downey Jr. You should be gone. Like, you don't get to come back. I'm glad you got kicked in the nuts when Gamora saw you again. I was so pissed. And so, but I think that, I don't know, for some reason, I was more upset with Star-Lord than I was with Sylvie. Don't know why. I think because with Sylvie it was a little different because she grew up. Like she was set up for that ending, right? Because she grew up from the time she was a little girl battling to survive.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense. Like that has been her answer for everything for years. And so
which is like, I'm going to take out the guy that made that thing happen.
Yeah. The one that put her on that path, I'm going to take him out. That absolutely makes sense. So I was less mad at her than I was at Star-Lord.
And she's a Loki. I mean, Lokis want what they want.
Yeah. Although it was interesting, I did like that moment when Miss Minutes came with the thing where she's all like, oh, you could have this, you could have all the power, Loki. Yeah. And you see him and he kind of looks like he's considering it for a second. Like, I could have everything that I want. And then he's like, no. But like Sylvie was very much like hyper focused on this one thing, and she wasn't going to let anything get in her way, least of all her love for Loki.
Ayan Mukherjee just said Star-Lord should have gotten the gauntlet in Endgame. That actually makes sense.
He could have, He
would have survived.
Yeah.
Well, he's half celestial, so he should survive.
Yeah, he should have. Why doesn't he have more strength?
Too many other people on that battlefield that could have taken that glove.
There was not enough time.
Robert Downey Jr. could be like and reverse all that shit.
Although he did have enough time to like, say something.
He could have trapped Thanos' ass inside of like some kind of weird time loop thing or something, or an illusion of some kind. Because with that glove, you can make illusions, right?
Yeah, you can do anything.
And so, yeah, could have trapped Thanos, put him in a box like the end of Mission Impossible 6, when that guy was trapped inside the glass case. Was that Mission Impossible 6?
Oh. Philip Seymour Hoffman in there?
No, that was Mission Impossible 3.
Oh.
I forget which Mission Impossible it was. I think it was the one where he rides on the side of the plane. Mm-hmm. The ending was just very underwhelming. It was Tom Cruise was getting chased, or something like that, and then the bad guy ends up inside of a glass case. Like it was
anticlimactic.
It was very anticlimactic. Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But that's what they should have done to Thanos. Trapped him in an illusion of glass. Or a glass of illusion.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring another version of Thanos into this multiverse of madness. I mean, how can he not, right? Like, they're bringing back a lot of the big bads, allegedly, in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're bringing back all of the big bads from all the previous Spider-Man.
They should bring Josh Brolin. They should bring Josh Brolin, both of Josh Brolin's MCU characters in.
Wait, what was his other one?
From Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's Ghost Protocol apparently.
Oh. Ghost Protocol.
Technical Laser says, Jaby, no one was intelligent than Iron Man, so it should have been him. Don't have to be intelligent. Abhishek Mahanti. Star-Lord's mother was given brain tumor by his father Ego, and she died. Yondu also died. The Thanos killed Gamora, so are you still mad at Star-Lord? Yes.
Yeah, Star-Lord's an idiot. Yeah,
you're a hero. You have a job to do. Like, that was the mission.
You let emotion get in the way, homie.
Yeah. It's like, it's rough. It's rough, but that's the job you agree to do when you take up the mantle, I'd let you die to kill Thanos.
All right,
Jaby.
thanks. I appreciate it.
Look, Sorav's been trying to get our attention.
What's he saying?
He says, "Hey guys, it's my mom's birthday today. It's 16th July, 12:15 a.m. here now. Can you please wish her a happy birthday? Her name is Supriya Underkar. I will make a clip out of that and show her." Oh, okay. Are you ready? Are you ready, you guys?
Oh, how'd your watch along do? You did a watch along? How'd that go? Did you run into a lot of copyright issues?
No, man. They were like, "Yeah, cool. Send it on through." But the first one, we'll talk off camera about some of the technical stuff. The first one was a nightmare. But the last one that I just did regarding episode 6 was it went pretty well.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, you guys can go watch Syntell's appropriate reaction to the Kang reveal over on his channel. The better reaction. Go check that out.
What is my giddy?
That makes me giddy.
Oh, that
makes me giddy.
No, yeah. You're right. I read it wrong.
TVA I can't spell.
No.
Curse you.
No, I'm looking at the comments on your video here. TVA was reset. That means Loki lost his friend again, as Mobius does not remember him. Oh, that's what I was going to read out. Some people were so disappointed that Mobius doesn't ride up on a jet ski anywhere.
Yeah.
I was too.
He never got his jet ski.
Jet ski, man. You know what else they didn't explain either? Is old girl, I always forget her name, Renslayer. You know how Renslayer had mentioned that every time Mobius comes in, he had moved his glass to a different spot and you see the watermark?
Yeah.
They didn't explain that. And then she had also said something to the effect that he was like, I got all these trophies, but some of these, he said, I know I give you all these trophies, but I don't remember some of these, which led us to believe that there could be different variations or variants of him. They didn't explain that at all either. And I'm like, oh man, I thought we was going to see something.
They did kind of with her pen from the middle school, which Eric Voss from New Rockstars pointed out that maybe she was a teacher at that middle school, and turns out that's where she was when B-15 takes the other hunter into right that part that we're on right now on your reaction. So that explains her pen. But yeah, they did make a point of her looking at the ring stain again on the table, and I don't know if that was just her going, like reminiscing about Mobius and being like, oh, I lost a friend, or like I kind of miss him, and then he just turns up right at that moment, or if there's another significance to it. I'm not sure.
Tribunal Gear says they made Loki a side character in his own show.
I don't feel that.
No, not like not like to the level of like Mad Max.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Mad Max was good
Yeah.
too, even though he was a side character.
Yeah, it wasn't like that bad. The thing is, the show is called Loki, and she is a Loki.
Yeah.
So
Technically speaking.
yeah, I mean, it's just because you know.
I never felt like he was a side character though.
No, I see what Tribunal Gear is saying. I mean, I get his frustration there, but everything with Marvel is a Trojan horse for something else. It's constantly leading you to something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they keep you engaged. It's like Game of Thrones. What episode really like completed itself? Honestly, like. So like with Marvel, they're doing a better job because you do get like a complete story, but each movie is a Trojan horse for something else.
Right.
Like that's why you have the secret endings where like Thanos is introduced with the glove and all that stuff or
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
You know, like they've been doing this. So Loki was a Trojan horse for Sylvie, so that she can be in the show.
Yeah, kind of like Black Widow.
Black Widow is a
for
Trojan
Yelena.
horse for Pew Pew. You know,
Yelena.
Yelena. I keep calling her Pew Pew.
Pew pew. Yeah.
Because her last name is Pew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so-
Pepe Le Pew?
No,
Yeah.
her last name is Pew. Yeah, well, yeah, but her last name is Pew, the actress.
Yeah. It's Pew like you.
What's her name?
Florence.
Oh, Pew
Florence
Pew.
Pugh. Florence Pugh. Yeah,
Florence
so I call her
Pugh.
Pew Pew.
Yes.
Harsh Carney says, Jaby, don't you think the last episode should have gotten more action? I thought
No, it was fine.
I thought I knew I got exactly what I was expecting there to be a lot of dialogue because the show started off that way. Huh?
I said, and there was. That show was really only like 20 minutes long if you take out half of the dialogue that Kang was saying.
Yeah, I mean, it very much did a Tarantino. It's like there was a lot of exposition. It was a lot of conversation, but I actually really enjoyed all that banter. I enjoyed the performance of Tom Hiddleston opposite of Owen Wilson. I thought that shit was great. I enjoyed Tom Hiddleston opposite of Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I thought all that was fantastic. Like, that kind of meaty dialogue we don't get in the movies.
But it's also important because the concepts are so heady.
Yes.
That's why.
Exactly.
We need to take the time to have it explained to us
Yeah.
instead of just like, oh, here's a quick explanation plus like a bunch of action. It's like, no. This is important though. This is important for us to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that in many ways, like, there are things that you're getting with the show that you'll never be able to get in the movies. And it's kind of concerning for how we're going to do this going forward because, like, if you look at Black Widow, really what was different in that from other Marvel films? And people have a huge problem with Black Widow.
Mm.
They're like, oh, the character development, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
It's a movie though.
it's they're just trying to do a lot.
Yeah.
And so if it was a show, you'd have gotten all that character development that
I
you're
would
asking
watch
for.
that show.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would too. And it should have been.
Yeah.
I think that should have been at least like a good 3-part miniseries
Yeah.
at the lowest, you know. at
Or
least
like
Right.
a 6-parter. I'd watch that
so
of all about her family and like all the stuff, all the training in the Red Room and how she gets out and stuff like that. Yeah.
So the question becomes, how many times are you going to say that? How many times are you going to say, oh, that should have been a show? You know?
Right.
Because, like, the Marvel movies are going to feel very truncated compared to these shows, which are really expanding on the characters and going in depth. You know? Like,
Right.
There's
Unless
an argument that they may be shooting themselves in the foot as a result of the quality of these episodics.
yeah.
yeah.
To what the expectation is regarding like the big movies.
Well, unless they can do it in such a way where, like, say they drop a show which gives a major plot point or something,
Mhm.
and then a month or two later they drop the show. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like you watch the movie and then the show. So it's like all very close together, so you don't have as much of a gap. You know what I mean? So you can just like, assuming it takes people maybe a couple months to watch the movies or 3 months or whatever, and then go into the show or
Yeah.
vice versa.
So Kartik Sharma, My Wish, a short film where Michael Pena's Louise. Am I saying his name right?
Louise? Michael Pena.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Is that
And
Lewis or
Deadpool
Louise?
recap their respective Marvel universes and
I
end
would-
up arguing who had a better Brolin.
I would watch that short film. I think that'd be hilarious.
I would too.
I liked Michael
would
Pena in
Hold up. So we got two.
His explanations are legendary.
We got
absolutely legendary.
Abhishek Mahanti. He says two things. Hawkeye is a Trojan horse for Kate Bishop.
Yes.
Yep.
And Abhishek also says a young Thanos might appear in Eternals.
Ooh, that would be awesome. I want that.
Benevolence. What brand Asian is the girl in the purple?
What kind of question is that, Benevolence?
What brand Asian are you?
I am
Sephora?
made in Thailand.
Maybelline.
Brand Asian. Is it inappropriate for me to laugh at that?
It's fine.
I don't know. That's just such a strange question. What brand of black are you?
The
The dope kind. I left Tiger Shroff a comment this morning on Instagram
What did he
because
say?
he had some ad on his Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And I said I looked up dope AF in the dictionary today, and your picture was next to it, and I was shocked because the dictionary had dope AF defined. A little irony.
It's
but,
a little, yeah.
Benevolence. Eternals looks like it's going to be horrible.
I don't
disagree
know about
completely.
that.
I disagree
think it's gonna be
completely.
cool.
I disagree completely.
At least I'm going to go in with optimism. I mean, I might get proved wrong, but I'm
think
excited as hell for it.
Eternals already is like won me over 50% of the way just on the concept alone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to work too hard to stick the landing on that for me. Like, just don't fuck it up and I'll be all right. Like, because the concept is so cool. Like, I'm just in love with the idea so much. And so, anyways, I think we should conclude this live stream. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out and chatting with us, listening to us chat. And
let's wish Sora Vanderkar's mama happy birthday real quick.
Thank you for
Happy birthday
to ya.
Yeah,
that's right. Happy birthday, Mrs. Supriya Andekar.
Thank you to.
It's your birthday.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Supriya Andekar. Okay.
Thank you to all the supers for super chatting. Really appreciate it. And thank you to all the regular chatters. And thank you for people who are just hanging out, listening to us. Really appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. Peace out.
Yeah.